Welcome to the weekend live show.
508 is where I'm from.
We run down the biggest stories of the week with you every Saturday night. Let us know in the comments right now where you reppin'.
Apache Junction, Taunton, Worcester, Long Island, Manchard, South Florida, Webster, Malden, Framingham, Tucson, Billerica, Salem, Gloucester, Moosop, Connecticut, Charleston, South Carolina, Roslindale, Moosop, Connecticut, London, Hanson, Glendale, Arizona, Lynn, Mapleville, Quincy.
Food stamps, leave it closed, buddy, and
hey, you funny ass guy, man.
Have you ever heard of Turtleboy? Yeah? Are you a fan?
508 is where I'm from. 508 is where I'm from.
What the hell was that?
Oh, it's fucking Giannetti.
You a friggin' idiot. Stop telling people that I'm mentally deranged and stupid. It's homosexuals that love them. Good job, guys.
Nobody wants to see your dick pics, dude. Oh. Can't show it. It's a Giannetti dick pic.
NFL on the house, blog that.
Let's get this party started.
Yo, what's up, Turtle Riders? How's everyone doing out there tonight? Good, excellent. Welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. I am your fearless host here. They call me Uncle Turtleboy. You can call me Clarence if you'd like, or Aidan, or I really prefer Dr. Turtleboy, because if Joe Biden's a doctor, then so am I. So respect my pronouns. And yeah, Giannetti is gonna love that. He's gonna blow a gasket when he sees that opening. Oh man, that was my first reaction to it. I'm like, oh my God, Giannetti is going to go nuts when he sees that one. So anyway, guys, follow me on Twitter, because like I said, Joe Biden's a doctor. I'm definitely a doctor. You can follow me on Twitter at Dr. Turtleboy. That's at DOCTOR Turtleboy. You can follow me on Instagram, or us on Instagram at Turtleboy_daily_news. I think we're up to like 12,000 on there. Twitter, I want to say, is getting close to 37,000. And then there's the Clarence Woods Emerson page, which has like 33 or 34,000. And then there's the Turtleboy page, which I think is around 21 or 22,000. So we're all over the socials, but no TikTok. We don't do the TikTok. We did for like a week, and then they kicked us off. And I'm all set with ever going back on that Chinese spyware again. So anyway, welcome on Sunday night. Usually we do this edition. Make sure you're smashing that subscribe button, obviously, because normally we do this on Tuesday and Saturday nights at 9 p.m. But obviously with the Celtics, I did not think the Celtics would still be playing right now. I did not think they would play a game last night, but they did, and they won, and holy shit. We don't get that many people for the Celtic live streams, and I understand why, because who wants to watch me watch sportball on the couch? But, I look back on that last night, and I'm like, man, my reaction was really subdued considering what happened. Because, like, the first thing I did was, like, rewind it. I'm like, did it go in? Was it in time? And then after I found out it was in time, it's like, I feel like I didn't properly go crazy enough. Like it was Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl. Like that's the close. A lot of people comparing it to Dave Roberts. I think it was more like Malcolm Butler. It was improbable. Like you're like, where the fuck did that come from? Like it was over. Like that's the way you felt. Like at least with the stolen base, like Dave Roberts was probably going to steal that base, because that's what he does. He's got like an 80% steal rate. Whereas with last night, it was like, in the Super Bowl, like they were going to win. The Seahawks were going to win. All they had to do is give it to Marshawn Lynch. And then they elected to throw it, and this guy we never heard of before, Malcolm Butler, won the Super Bowl for us. And it was the same thing last night. I'm like, I feel weird, because it's like Jason Tatum again and Jaylen Brown, more so Tatum, just disappeared in the second half. Again, it's a real problem. We shouldn't be winning games because of Derek White putbacks at the buzzer, but we did. So I didn't feel that good about it, but I feel like I should feel better. I just have this horrible feeling in my stomach that something horrible is going to happen in Game 7. I just can't shake it. And then I don't know. I'm pessimistic. So tomorrow night I'm going to watch it, but I feel like I've brought us luck by only doing the second half. So I think we're going to stick with that. We're just going to stream the second half. I'm going to watch the first half somewhere, and then in the second half We're going to stream it, whatever. And we'll see how things are going then. Hopefully we have a big lead. Whatever happens, happens. Okay. Anyway, let the McCabes defend their honor. Yeah, we're trying to. We're trying to get the McCabes on here and speak the truth. We're trying. Don't get me wrong. Okay. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. And hit the notification bell because you never know when we're going to do an impromptu live. I definitely have some more field trips in the near future planned, which I don't want to, say too much ahead of time, including to meet with this Sean McCabe guy who was just my gift of ratchetry. I did not see this coming, that McCabe has a brother who apparently is a boomer drunken fool with a rap sheet that we're going to look at tonight that we didn't even get into yet. And it's very interesting. So we'll see what happens. We'll get to that. But am I forgetting anything else? Oh, yeah. If you guys like the program and you would like to donate to the program, you can click at that link at the top. And that's something called Turtle Chat. Now, fuck. I should have had this beforehand. Does anyone have the link to the Karen Read defense GoFundMe? Or not GoFundMe, to pay it? Could you send it on Facebook Messenger, please? If you have. I know it's out there. I'm going to share it. Okay? But here's the deal. Well, actually, why don't we just share it afterwards? Because here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do tonight. So, Karen Read's defense team, and like I said, I was weary about doing the fundraiser aspect of this, but after Wednesday's hearing, I've completely changed my mind because now I've realized more than ever what she's up against. Like I knew she was up against it, but I figured once she had all of the information out there about the Google searches and stuff, I'm like, oh, it's over. They're going to have to drop this. No, they are. I am shocked that they are just doubling down on this. And I'm realizing how corrupt this whole thing is. And I figured the judge would at least be there to save the day. But the judge is either completely corrupt or completely useless. One or the other. She certainly doesn't have any desire to figure the truth out. And I think we learned a lot from her comments at the end of the stream. Oh, I got it. You guys don't have to send. A million people are sending me the pay right now. Towards the end of the stream, and I think we played some of this when we played the whole recap on Wednesday. The judge made a comment to Alan Jackson about, you can do this on Zoom, and that to me said so much because it was like, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You'd like that. If Alan Jackson didn't come here with his entourage, with his big billboards, and with John McCabe's arm. Yeah, you'd like that. The arm thing would not in court. That was amazing. That played. That swayed public opinion. Those images are everywhere. She would love it if that didn't happen. She would love it if there were no post-court press conferences on the stairs about what an injustice is happening inside that courtroom. She would absolutely love that. But he's her lawyer, and this is a murder trial. It's a fucking murder trial. This isn't some restraining order with Mike Giannetti. You show up. You're there in person, period. Like, it matters a lot. I'm sure it matters a lot to Karen Read's psyche to have her attorney next to her. I feel that she's paying him a lot of money. I'm sure that feels good to have him there. Duh. Who wouldn't feel comforted by having their attorney there that knows what they're doing? Like I said, she's a stronger person than I am. I would be so depressed right now. And it seems as if she's just like, when you saw her in the courthouse steps, her voice was a little bit shaky. It was a little bit, like on the verge of tears almost. And you could tell this woman's been through a lot. And when she spoke with emotion. And most importantly, she spoke about John O'Keefe. She didn't really talk about herself that much. She talked about how she found him and she tried to save his life. And, the first words she said were John O'Keefe. Those are the first words Karen Read has said since being charged in public. That. And like I said, like AC is absolutely right. He's too good for Zoom. Like, he's a professional. Like, Zoom? She actually said that, Zoom. And so I realize now that, like, this woman is up against a lot more. And when I saw, and we're going to get into it tonight, When I saw that email from Adam Lally, I think it was in part 38, in which he says, no, we're going to hold on to her car and she's going to have to keep making the payments. Dude, that's a 2021 Lexus. Brand new. How much do you think the payments on that thing are? She has no income. They've taken that away from her because she can't drive. So she can't go to work or anything. And she's just literally spending her savings. Any savings she's ever had, she's obviously worked hard if she still has some savings left after all this. And but this is not how she intended to spend her savings. I'm sure she'd like to retire at some point. I'm sure she had life plans. And then this shit happens. And it's very clear from that email from Lally that their goal is to bankrupt this woman, make her go broke, force her into a situation. They don't like Alan Jackson. That's what it comes down. They didn't like David Yannetti at first, and they especially don't like Alan Jackson and Elizabeth Little, who come out here and have completely changed the way this is all being presented. Like before, it was like David Yannetti was like the little engine that could. He was out there in the courthouse steps speaking on her behalf, and no one was paying attention. I didn't know any of this shit was going on. I guess it was in the news somewhere. I pay attention to the news. I didn't see anything about this. You had to go looking for it to find it. And then one day I just saw a blurb somewhere. I don't know. It was NBC or somebody about how long to die in cold. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. And let's click on that. And then I went on Mass Courts and I read the whole freaking complaint. And it's like, oh shit. Every page, my jaw would drop more. And yes, I read Alan Jackson's affidavit there. And the affidavit is obviously it's dramatic. And it's written in his opinion. This is what he thinks happened. But there were things in there that were undeniable. And there were things in there that make much more sense than the prosecution's narrative. So I immediately believed the defense. And I don't usually fall for, defense attorney tricks and shit like that. This is undeniable. So it's very clear, like Alan Jackson is very good at what he does. But Alan Jackson could be representing $1 million clients, and he's flying out to Massachusetts to take care of Karen Read. And that hearing the other day, that bullshit hearing, she flew him in and Elizabeth Little in, and she flew in, I believe Rick Green. God knows how much that cost, that expert, and just to do the whole forensic audit to begin with, which was much more expensive, I'm sure, because Jen McCabe deleted shit. It becomes a lot harder to find when you delete it. And so I'm sure he works by the hour, gets paid by the hour, and that starts adding up. And it's like, you know what? Like, no, there's nothing wrong with sharing a GoFundMe for this, because we are all fighting against a corrupt system here. We're all fighting against a corrupt system. So here's what I'm going to do tonight. So there is a link at the top for something called Turtle Chat. And if you donate to that, you can donate whatever amount of money you want, and you get to write a message. I will get an email with the message, and I will read it out loud to the class. Or if you'd like, you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy. I will get a text message about it, and I will read that out loud to the class as well. So, here's the deal, though. Tonight, 50% of all raised money is going to the Karen Read Legal Defense Fund. Half of it. I'm giving half is going to Karen Read. So that's what we're doing tonight. So the more money we raise, every, $1 out of 2 goes to the Karen Read Defense Fund. And because I was going to make I am going to make my own donation as well on top of that. But like today, I want to use this like a fundraiser for that. So if anybody would like to donate, I'm donating 50% of all Turtle Chats tonight are going to the Karen Read Legal Defense Fund. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. Because again, this is not just her fight. This is all of our fight. And this, this whole fucking thing on Wednesday was just a waste of money for her. All that was just her pissing away money And the judge being like, what the fuck are you going to do about it? Like, that's all that was just a dick measuring competition with Judge Cannone. And she wanted to show Alan Jackson that she had a bigger dick than he did. That was the whole purpose of that hearing. It was nonsense. So anyway, so we're going to get into that tonight. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw this. This is a story I did earlier this week. I finally got cited by the mainstream media. Did you guys see this? Check this out. All right. So you guys, I earlier in the week, and we're going to get to the canned stuff. Don't worry. Earlier in the week, I did a blog about this guy named, his name is just too good. George Washington Williams III or the fourth. One of them. He is a social justice activist, big time, went to one of those historic black colleges. I forget the name of it. BLM, you name it, like says all the right buzzwords. And when you do that and you live in Boston, you get jobs in the Michelle Wu administration. That's how it works. Or you can marry a Boston city councilor like Tanya Fernandez Anderson, who is literally married to a man serving life in prison for killing a Lithuanian immigrant about 25 years ago. But this gentleman had a long and documented criminal history prior to working for Michelle Wu. And a couple things. He's addicted to crystal meth. Like not heroin, not cocaine, crystal meth, like Jesse Pinkman, crystal meth. And he is apparently homeless. So he has been living in City Hall. And none of this is made up. I got notified about it. And apparently he was arrested last week sometime for assaulting a Boston police officer. He threw a dustpan at him and he got charged. And so no one else in the media has this. So I write about it. The next day, the Boston Herald writes something, of course, no citation whatsoever. But the Daily Wire, who has stolen stories from me in the past, did write about it. This is Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh's company and Michael Knowles. And I got cited in it. So this is the first time this has ever happened. That's cool. And it's about how this guy, the best part about the story, the kicker is this dude is in charge of reparations. Like he's on the Michelle Wu reparations committee. You got that? The guy who he thinks if you're white and you live in Boston, he believes that you owe him money simply because he's black. So you just have to give him money. And he thinks that's fair. And he can spend it however he wants. You just have to give him money. And that will make us even. Apparently, that you just fix X many years of slavery and racial inequality that he never had to deal with at all. Nothing like that. And you just fix it by getting a check. That's how social justice works. Now, of course, the funniest part about this is we all know this guy would just buy crystal meth with his reparations check. Like it's a guarantee. There have been jokes about this before. I've seen it in stand-up shows about like reparations. Like you can't give out reparations because like, what about people buy crystal meth with it? And then this guy, he's going to buy crystal meth. It's a 1000% guarantee. That's where all the money's going to go. And he's in charge of that committee. This is who's running the goddamn city of Boston, home of the American Revolution, for crying out loud. And this dude is in charge. And apparently he's been sleeping there. It's exactly what George Williams, blah, 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 the hub of City Hall, for arguably, he overstayed his welcome for the past 3 weeks while showing erratic behavior. He was arrested for trespassing at 9:40 p.m. According to police report, city employees say that throughout May, they have had difficulties with him trespassing in the building after hours and at times becoming aggressive and threatening other staff members inside of City Hall. Williams, who has been arrested for multiple drug offenses in the past, according to Massachusetts-based outlet Turtleboy Daily News, was allegedly, and what does it link to? Where's the link to? Oh, the exact article. That's just nifty. Thank you. Tim Meads from he follows me on Twitter. We follow each other. He's a good guy. He works for the Daily Wire. And how did he get there? Well, he allegedly chased off a custodian to gain access to the room. Yikes. He was originally asked to leave by police, but became hostile. Williams is accused of lunging at an officer, picking up a dustpan and broom to clean up his mess. When authorities requested him to leave again, he allegedly swept debris in their direction. If it sounds bizarre, readers should know the police suspected he was on drugs. Officials finally de-escalated the situation, were able to haul him away, but not before he tried to attack a second member of Boston police. As readers can tell, only the best and brightest get hired by Boston's woke Mayor Michelle Wu, who picked Williams to serve as part of her reparations task force in 2022. So yeah, slavery's been illegal in Boston since 1783, but this guy still needs his check, I guess. I don't know. We're never going to be free until George Williams gets his crack money. And not crack money, I mean crystal meth money. So, but I'll tell you, definitely doesn't do drugs is Julia Mejia. She would never do anything like that, ever. She looks fantastic. She hasn't aged a bit in the last 3 years at all. Oh, no drugs for Julia Mejia. No. All right. So anyway, so that's that. So that's cool. We're finally cited by the mainstream media. See, it's not that hard. You just put a little link and then boom, problem solved. Very easy. All right. So let's talk about some things that happened here. Let's start with Sean McCabe, shall we? Let's bring up this guy. What a genius he is. All right. And by the way, we're getting some donos here. I want to read some turtle chats out loud. They're coming in, baby. Here we go. Let's read some. Again, all 50% of all turtle chats tonight are going to the Karen Read Legal Defense Fund. Also, we are streaming currently on Rumble as well. We have over 100 people on Rumble. Create a Rumble account because they're going to kick us off YouTube eventually. So you're going to want to be on there. Let me read some turtle chats before we get going on this. All right. Jen McCabe sends $50. Thank you, Jen. She says, please have mercy on me as I turn state's evidence. State's witness, I think they meant to say. We'll see, Jen. I don't know if we're going to have mercy on you, but thank you for the dono. Aaron sends $10. Says, keep going, Turtleboy. We have to regain some semblance of normalcy with law and order. Can you explain when the FBI will actively get involved and how it will be handled then? So I can't answer that because I don't know the answer to that question. Nobody knows the answer to that question because the FBI works with the grand jury and the grand jury is sealed. So no one has access to the grand jury, including the defense. They get the transcripts afterwards, but they don't get to cross-examine witnesses or anything like that. Especially in this case, Karen Read had her own grand jury, but with this one, she's not the subject of the grand jury. The grand jury is not investigating Karen Read because the feds know Karen Read didn't do this. The feds are investigating other aspects of this, including the Alberts, the McCabes, and that includes Colin Albert, and who, by the way, I've heard some rumors about him too. I got to find Colin Albert. That's the one I need to find. That's the weak link. I'm telling you right now, he's the weak link. We can get that kid to talk. We got to find Colin Albert. He's walking around like he's going to go to I'm telling you right now, he's probably drinking this summer. If you're out there, I know 18 to 24 is my smallest demographic, but like that kid, find me Colin Albert. Message me where I can find him because I want to talk to the man and I want to talk to him and I have some questions for him about what happened that night. And I think that we can get more from him than we can from anyone else. I guarantee, he might talk. He might, because he's a dumbass. He's a fucking dumbass, as you can see. I'll just say him with them Advantage boys or something. Like, yo, Colin, I heard you are actually not even the 5th toughest guy in the South Shore. Is Ken even in the South Shore? Does that even count? I don't know. I heard you're like you're like the fourth toughest guy in Canton, not even top 3. He might fight you over that. Like he might like be like, what? Who said that? And then pound down a Truly and crack it over his head or something. I could picture that happening. But well, he's a punk. He's not a man, but like he's gonna go to men's prison. I guarantee when this is all said and done, this is my prediction. What's gonna happen is that Brian Albert's gonna have to take one for the team. Even if Colin Albert we don't know who the one who cracked him in the back of the head, which I think really was the finishing blow on him. We don't know who did that. We don't know who punched him first. We don't know. But they are going to be able to, somebody has to go down for this. Somebody has to go face first-degree murder for this. And I think that it's got to be, Brian Albert has to take the fall. Like the family's going to put pressure on him. Like, dude, you can't send Colin to jail. Even if Colin was the primary aggressor in this, Brian has to cover for him. And I'm telling you right now, Brian Albert's not going to jail. Put it that way. Brian Albert is not the kind of guy that's going to accept going to jail. And so that would not surprise me. If this all ends with Brian Albert putting a gun in his mouth and taking one for the team, that would not surprise me in the least. If that's how this ends. And Colin will go to jail for something. But I don't think he'll get life or anything like that. I don't think he'll get a first-degree murder charge because Uncle Brian's going to take care of him. I guarantee there's going to be something like that. They need to blame. Someone has to be blamed for this. And I think it's going to be Brian. That's just my guess. But I think I think they all played a part. But if you're them, why would you equally distribute blame? Like, and send 4 people to jail when you can just send 1 person to jail for life. You see what I'm saying? Like because that's how these people think. Like, let's cover for each other. The whole purpose of this, like the first thing they thought of was cover for Colin Albert. Get him the fuck out of here. And, like they could all just snitch on this. They could have snitched on each other a long time ago, but they didn't, which makes me think they're covering for Colin the most. And and like with Aaron Hernandez, like all 3 of them didn't go to jail for first-degree murder, just Hernandez. Because we don't even know who the shooter was. I think it was just assumed that Hernandez was the shooter. With this, it's like somebody has to take the first-degree charge. Somebody has to. He's got to eat it. And it's not going to be Colin Albert. There's no way they're going to make him take the charge. Like the family won't allow that. Chris Albert is not going to allow his brother to just send Colin to jail for life while Brian takes a deal. That's not going to happen. Not in this family. But, so thank you for that, Dono. So long story short, I don't know when it is, but, all we can do is hope and pray that, it happens long before any sort of trial. So thank you. Bob sends 25 says, do you think after this corrupt judge's ruling, someone in the McCabe house that night might flip based on conscience? After this judge's ruling, someone in McCabe, I don't see why they would. That was a good day in court for them. So I doubt it. Thank you, Bob. Evelyn sends $50 and she says, justice for John and Karen. Absolutely, Evelyn. Thank you very much. Jay sends 50 and says, justice for Karen. Corrupt prosecution must be stopped. Keep it up, Turtleboy. That's the plan. Thank you. Alicia sends 1. Wait, what is this from? This is not a turtle chat. Oh, so there's not even someone watching the show. Okay, we'll take care of that. All right, because there's no message on it. Is that a turtle chat? Hold on. Actually, is this a turtle chat? No, it just says new donation. Hold on. From before. All right, hold on. Got to do just turtle chats here. All right, next. We got Brian sends $10. Says, please accept this donation from the bottom of my heart. Revere, represent. Thank you, Brian Ritchie. I appreciate that. All the Union soldiers sends $10. Says, we gave 360,000 lives. Reparations paid. Well, I didn't give shit. My ancestors weren't even in this country yet, so I can't even say that. Sean sends $100. Thank you. So he says, been a minute since I caught a live show, but fuck the Alberts. Team Read all the way. Get him, Unc. Get him. And 3 carrot emojis. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that, Sean Carrot. Kathleen sends 25. She says, Justice for Karen. Why do you think the FBI will indict any of these people? The stuff is over my head. I think the FBI will indict these people because they're not wasting their time on something if they're not going to have somebody get indicted at the end, and they're going to do it because that's their job. And unlike the Canton police and the state police, they have no connections. They're not impressed by the Albert McCabe lore in Canton, Massachusetts. They're kind of above that. So that's the beauty of this. Like, the only reason they've gotten this far is because people like Lieutenant or Sergeant Lank from the Canton Police Department bails this family out all the time. Who's also involved in the Sandra Birchmore discovery. Michael Proctor was the lead investigator on this. That's why we're at this point, is because there was home cooking. Because they knew the people in charge of investigating this. Can't they all get charged with first degree murder? They could. But that's why I think this is a family that like values family, like O'Doyle rules, values loyalty. Like, they will lie. They will lie and say that like Brian just got out of control. Brian went too far. Like, Colin had a beef with them and they confronted him and then they just jumped him. And Colin will get something for that. But I guarantee they're going to try to protect him. Guaranteed. Lank and Chris Albert graduated together. All these fucking people graduated together. Dude, Lally went to the same high school as Trooper Garino. Trooper Garino was 2 years ahead of, 2 years behind Lally in high school. These people all went to the same school. Like, it's crazy. So thank you, Kathleen. M. Brad sends $100. Thank you very much. Says full steam ahead, brother. So that is, we're off to a good start tonight. Did I miss? Oh, we got one more from Josh. Sends 20. Says Colin gets blowies from trannies. Yikes. Well, it is Pride Month coming up, so there's that. Prayers and justice for Karen. Keep it up, Aidan. Thank you very much. So far, we're up to, let's see, 20, 100, 120, 145, 245, 255, 265, 315, 365, 390, 400, 450, and then we got over here a couple cash apps. Got to read off. We got Tom DeRozier sends $10, says for well worth donating. Thanks for the hard work, eh? Thank you very much, Tom. And Brittany Salvale sends 25 and says justice for Karen is justice for John O'Keefe. You got that right. You got that right. So yeah, so now we're up to, what does that bring us to? $485. So divided by 2, we're looking at about 240 so far. We've raised for the Karen Read Defense Fund. So again, if anyone else wants to donate, you click at the link at the top. All 50% of donations tonight are going to the Karen Read Legal Defense Fund. So hit us up over there. Okay. Wild Violet says, does anyone know how we donate? I went to the Turtleboy website. I don't see a button. Okay. Oh yeah, there's none over here. I'll put it in the, I'm reading the comments on Rumble. Give me one moment. Where'd the show go? There it is. I'll put the link on Rumble for live chat over there. Okay. All right. So anyway, let's jump right into this story. All right. Let me blow this up. Okie dokie. So this is Sean McCabe. Apparently there's another McCabe. As if there weren't enough McCabes in the story. This guy had to show up and add himself to the list. So again, he has no relation to Jen McCabe. He is the idiot brother-in-law of him. So thus he has no relation to the Alberts either. But he saw the story and he's like, fuck, how am I not involved in this? I need to do something. And I called him the Tim Albert of the McCabes. But at this point, I feel like it's almost insulting to Tim Albert, which is hard to do. And there he is. That looks like Nicole Albert. That looks exactly like her. which honestly wouldn't surprise me if this guy was banging her too, because we're gonna get to him. He's a hot mess. He's a hot mess. So he is a diehard liberal, which again, no judgment about that. But we're gonna see it's rather ironic considering other positions that he has. Like, for instance, he thinks it's funny to make fun of Ashley Babbitt being dead. Respect our pronouns were. Okay. This is like a 50-year-old man whose profile picture is Johnny Cash giving the middle finger. He says he's the boss at McCabe Contracting. I'm not sure if that's a real thing or not. He's one of these not my president people. He's just constantly posting about Trump. Happy National Daughters Day to these two precious angels. I don't know who they are, but then he posts pictures like this of boys staring at girls' chests. Okay. It makes fun of Barron Trump. And this one was fucked up. How are you going to make fun of Otto Warmbier? Like, this kid, it was like really tragic what happened to him. He went to North Korea on a field trip or some shit from China, and then he tore down he did something stupid, but it wasn't like the end of the world, but it is in North Korea, and they try you and they call you a spy. Their courts are hardly that different from Beverly Cannone's, but still they're pretty bad. And he got executed. Well, not executed. He died in custody. And there's his parents. It was really sad. His fucking parents crying like that. Jesus Christ, that was heavy. At Trump's first State of the Union. Like, how are you going to make fun of them? How are you going to make fun of them? So he posts the following on his Facebook page. I got sent this. Anybody, just to be clear, Karen, you didn't do it. Karen Read. So this is during her press conference. Stepping all the way sideways. We know who did it. Karen's douchebag lawyer. Just a reminder to anybody listening to my psycho bitch client. No, Karen didn't do it. Anybody listen to the psycho bitch speak. That psycho bitch is so fucking guilty. Aidan, that's a new way to fuck up my name. Aidan fucking Kearney. Look, this is proof that nobody has ever been more innocent of the murder that they totally committed than this. Okay. So a couple things here, right, about them. Let's watch the clip of what happens here. Just watch this clip. This is and a lot of people had this comment about Karen Read, which I didn't think was a big deal afterwards. So when she spoke for the first time, the first thing she said was John O'Keefe. When Alan Jackson was talking about, we're going to get justice for John, or no, we're going to get justice for Karen Read. And then she goes, and John O'Keefe. She made sure to insert him into it because it's not just about her. That to me was a sign of selflessness and shows that she actually is centering John in this conversation, which none of these justice for JJ assholes are doing that. All they care about is Karen Read, because Karen Read's guilt is central to their freedom. Without Karen Read going to jail, they risk going to jail. And so they need her to be guilty. And so she said, and they never talk about John because they didn't know John. They have nothing to say. None of these people, this is a joke to them. And outside of court, after she said John O'Keefe, a couple of the reporters like, oh, did she just say that? And they're like, do you have anything to say? And he's like, no, she has nothing to say. And then she started talking. And then a 7 News reporter named Steve Cooper asked her, did you kill him? Or just to be clear, you didn't kill him, did you? And she knows him by name, which to me indicates that she has talked to Steve before or dealt with Steve before. And that they've had this conversation already. I guess he asked this question over a year ago and already got an answer. So for him to ask the same question again, it's just like, dude, you already know the answer to that. How many times I got to tell you? And I thought her answer was just fine. Some people seem to disagree, and I think you're wrong. So let me play this.
It feels we're the only ones fighting for the truth of what happened to John O'Keefe. And me and my family and my attorneys and my team have marshaled every resource to get to the truth. It just feels like no one else wants it.
Karen, just to be clear, you didn't do it.
Look at that look. Look at that look.
We know who did it, Steve.
Yeah.
We know.
So a lot of people are saying, like, oh, because she didn't say, and just to be clear, you didn't do it. And she looks at him like, Steve, we're past that. We know who did it. Not only did I not do it, which you know, everyone here knows I didn't do it. What a ridiculous question. And as if like I've seen a lot of people say, well, why she didn't deny it? She didn't deny it. Oh, as if she denied it, you'd be like, oh, well then, that settles that. As if like that's what I'm saying. Don't argue with people who have bad faith intentions, who come into the conversation offering bad faith arguments. If your argument is that she did not reply the way that you wanted her to, but even if she had replied the same way that you wanted her to, and it would not have changed your opinion, then you are a bad faith actor. So I thought her answer was just fine. I'm like, and like immediately Alan Jackson's like, no, she didn't do it, to be clear. And that's how you can tell Alan Jackson knows how the media is going to react to this. So he's just like, no, just to be clear, no. That's the answer is no to that. But she went the next step further already. She skipped no and went right to not only no, but also this. We know who did it. Let's play the rest. And by the way, think of how hard that is. And how, like, I get nervous sometimes. Like, when I give speeches in front, like, might not seem like it, but when I give speeches in front of the goddamn Billerica school committee, I get a little nervous. And I got nothing on the line. This woman knows that everything she's about to say is going to be analyzed and scrutinized by millions of people. And she does it all off the cuff. I have no idea if this was planned or not, but it seems as if it was just spontaneous because the lawyers tried to be like, no, she has nothing to say. And then she just fucking talked. And so, like, all these people out there, she didn't react the way I wanted her. Well, you've never been in her position. So how about relax? And you don't think that immediately after this ended, she probably watched this video so many times and replayed it in her head and is just like, I wish I did this then. I guarantee she did that. And that's why often defendants don't talk, is because they're like, you don't get to take back what you said, even though what she said wasn't even bad. Like, this is probably the last we're going to hear from her in quite some time. And you're right. I like that comment. I think it was good for her to speak. Up to this point, her name and we'll get to the race part later, I guess. But because her name's Karen. I just think it's nice to put a voice to the name. We've never heard her voice, so it's nice to hear her voice for the first time. Right. And I like this comment. No lawyer wants their client to talk, but she did good. All the support must be so empowering. Exactly. Well, thank you. You're a huge part of that. Thank you. And I don't want to toot my own horn or anything here, but like, let's be honest, that courtroom was full because of Turtleboy. That courtroom is, all these media are outside because of Turtleboy. They haven't been coming to any hearings prior to this. We turned this into a storm, and we've also made it so like that Judge Cannone knows now we're watching. A lot of people are watching this. You're not going to get away with this, Judge. Like, you're not going to get away with this. Too many people are watching. So let's make this better. What do you mean, what's up with granite links? I don't know what that means. Let me play some more.
And we know who spearheaded this cover-up. You all know.
You all know.
And no, she didn't do it.
That was me. Yes,
no, she didn't do it. This is an innocent woman. She didn't do it.
I tried to save his life. I tried to save his life at 6 a.m. I was covered in his blood. I was the only one trying to save his life.
Why'd you admit to it?
There's Carl.
She didn't admit to
Carl
it.
the idiot.
She didn't admit to anything close to that. Nothing close to that.
And this is why you don't speak, by the way, because now you got to deal with the next asshole, the heckler, who's just, again, Carl Dugall, disgrace to the Boston Police Department. If you know Carl in A1, he's a fake detective. He's a low-life, degenerate piece of shit who should hand in his badge, and his stupid cunt wife, Jackie. That's right, Carl. I called your stupid wife a cunt because that's what she is. She should shut her fucking mouth in public, or we can make her part of the story. Obviously, you got shit to say. We can make her a real big part of the story moving forward, Carl. Put your wife on a fucking leash and tell her to shut the fuck up in public, or we can do this the fun way. Anyway, back to this, because that woman just, oh my God, I've never seen a woman that needs to just be taken down a few notches more than that entitled brat cunt. That's what she is. And think of now Karen's in a position here where she has a heckler. And do you understand how probably hard it is for her not to go at it with this guy? But she doesn't. She doesn't. She keeps her mouth shut. She said what she needed to say.
And you should know that.
It was like 3 or 4 times.
No, she didn't.
That's not true.
She asked a question. She asked a question, which is very different. She didn't admit to anything.
Exactly. And that guy who was real talkative around Alan Jackson, he didn't have shit to say around me. The wife was laughing out loud during her press conference, visibly. And in court, she was making faces and reactions and stuff like that. I didn't know who she was the whole time. I thought it was like some McCabe latch on or something. I didn't know what it was. But it's like, no, they're not even related to that. Like, I don't understand how cunty these people are. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, let's see what else we got here. Just trying to make sure we didn't miss anything. All right. So back to this guy's post here. Let's break this down. The problem with this post, because I've seen this from a lot of people. Okay, first thing. Anybody, just to be clear, Karen didn't do it. Karen Read stepping all the way. We know who did it. Okay, so we've been over that. That's a normal reaction. That's a good reaction. Karen's douchebag lawyer. Just a reminder to anybody listening to my psycho bitch client. No, Karen didn't do it. This is what we're up against, people. This is the kind of low-life, degenerate trash. Oh, Turtleboy called someone a cunt. Yeah, at least I'm not accusing an innocent woman of murder and calling her, what are you calling her again? A psycho bitch client. I mean, this is a murder trial. This is a serious criminal affair. And this is the way these people are treating it. Just calling her a psycho bitch. Even if she's guilty of what you're accusing her of, which she's not, you're accusing her of accidentally running into him in the snow and not realizing it and leaving him to die. That was the original allegation. But I guess that makes her a psycho. Like, and again, that's how they have to paint her. That's how evil these people are. They have to paint her as psycho in order to make it seem like she did it on purpose. So she goes, and then he goes on to say, anybody listening to this psycho bitch speak, that psycho bitch is so fucking guilty. And that's honestly how what he believes. If I were to poll the general public about this, I would say 99% of the people would say that this woman is not guilty. And I say that not without evidence. If you go to any comment section on an independent media outlet like, Court TV or WCVB, and these are the people who have not followed the case and are only seeing it for the first time on these places. And they're just like, wow, what's going on? Was the motion to quash in good faith or bad? It sounds like a delay tactic. It's exactly what it is. Delay tactic to make her pay more money. Right? I'm telling you one thing. That gal didn't kill her cop boyfriend. Must be a cover-up. She's being framed. These are not friends of hers. These are complete strangers. This is how everyone sees it. So to the McCabes, they're saying to anyone listening to the psycho bitch speak, no, sorry, pal. Most of us don't see it that way. Most of us see it the other way for what it really is, a cover-up. And your family is directly involved. And then Aidan fucking Kearney, look, this is proof that nobody has ever been more innocent of the murder. Yeah, to me, it is more solid evidence of that. Anyway, these are just trashy townies. I mean, look at the way Jen McCabe was looking at me. Look at that. Like, that's the devil right there. Look at that. Oh, best looking. Oh, Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof. Woof. Yikes. with her fucking aviators there and her jeans. Like she's dressing like it's 1994 in Canton High School. And this is what qualifies as best looking, unfortunately. Yikes. Homely looking motherfucker. Exactly. Yikes. Not good. It was a tough year, Canton 94. 95 things picked up a bit. 94, not a good year. Not a good year. That was the Albert draft year. Okay. So there's her. And again, this is not how smart people behave. It's not how innocent people behave. It's not how confident people behave. Like if they're confident in their case, they would not feel the need to smear Karen Read like this. They just let the judicial system take its course. And this is what's really fucked up is the judge is siding with these people, these losers, these lowlifes. There's no fucking way. And some people have said, oh, she had to do it. No, she didn't. If she had to do that, then why was there a hearing at all? You think Alan Jackson thought like would waste his time flying out here if she had no choice but to deny it? Stop it. And like, spoiler alert, guys, she's going to deny the phone too. I don't know if you guys picked up on this yet. She gave him the dog because she had no choice because she saw the pictures in court. She ain't giving him Brian Albert's phone. She's going to protect that motherfucker at all costs. She's protecting him because protecting him means protecting Adam Lally and all these other people. That's who she loves. Adam Lally. She's like a big fan of his. Anyway, yeah, so there's that video. Anything else here on this guy? Anyway, so let's see. Yeah, so we went over all these comments. We're going to give him a call because I'm going to show you my whole conversation that I've had with this dude. And it gets worse. And by the way, you know these people have nothing. Like every story I've ever written, there's always another side. There's always somebody who doesn't agree with me. Over the years, there's been so many haters of Turtleboy that, oh, he's shaming junkies or he's doing this and that. And, you know, even that guy, like that story I wrote about the junkie and the crystal meth guy in City Hall, like somebody will be offended by that. There will be somebody who's offended by that and be like, you're picking on drug addicted people and he's black and you're white and yeah, that's racist. And, you know, but he also likes Green New Deal. And you're just mad because you don't like the Green New Deal, turtle fucker. But with this story, there is no other side. Like there's nobody. There's literally nobody arguing otherwise. The only people that are arguing that this is completely legitimate, like a good investigation, are random people using fake names who are so ashamed of their opinions and not confident in them that they have to create burner accounts and come on our page. It's probably all Jen McCabe or some shit. But I don't really care who it is because I have a policy with these people. Like if you don't use your real name, I'm not responding to you because you don't stand by what you say. So I have nothing to say to you, therefore. And yeah, Noah Pizarro, that was a new one, or Vic Vega, or all these other losers. Again, and let's talk about this for a moment too. So when I confront these guys outside of court, I thought more about that this weekend too. Why was I the only one doing that? I understand I'm a little controversial and I have a flair for the dramatic. I get all that, but all those media and cameras were there and out walks this woman who is the centerpiece of this whole case. That hearing today, or that took place that day, was literally done to find out communications between Brian Albert and her because she deleted them all. None of this happens without her if she doesn't hand over her cell phone. This is all because of her. She has never spoken publicly. No one knows what her voice sounds like. No one ever takes pictures of her in court like they do Karen Read. She is central to this investigation. Why is there no appetite for curiosity with these people to just go up to her and say, did you do it? Like 7 News reporter Steve Cooper asks her that question, right? He asks Karen Read, did you do it? But he's already asked her that. And you know what her answer is going to be. But you've never spoken to Jen McCabe, and she's right there. She's right there. She's in the court. Like, she parked down the street. She's not hiding. She's not taking a shit and hiding inside like last time. She's actually just walking down Main Street in Dedham. And no one else was interested in like asking this woman questions. Her and her stupid husband, who was in the house, they were both key witnesses for the Commonwealth in this murder trial, who are now being accused of being involved in the murder. And no one, and not a single media outlet there has a question. I'm like, the more I thought about that, I'm like, obviously I do it because I love to confront these people and ask them tough questions and make them uncomfortable. I love it. But that's always what the media has done. They always do that. They always ask questions. They ask Karen Read questions, but you don't have any questions for this one? What? And let's be honest, like, Karen Read's attorneys are good and they're not going to let her say too much. Whereas her attorney is Kevin fucking Reddington, who gets wasted on Wednesday nights at Applebee's and comes on the Turtleboy page and calls me Turd-boy and asks to dance. You can get such good audio. Like, the possibilities here are endless. But for some reason, it's just me. It's just me. They're all right fucking there. And I'm the only one that followed the slag down the street.
Lally.
Watch this.
Hey, Lally, are you in on the cover-up or are you just a useless government stooge? Mr. Lally, why are you lying about Jen McCabe's kids not being in that photo with Michael Proctor? It's clearly them, Mr. Lally. Are you in on the cover-up? Are you worried about going to jail? Mr. Lally, you should be.
So again, here we go. Coming out of court. Like, look at all those cameras. They're everywhere. Like, look at all those cameras as I come out. Boom. There's like 5 cameras right there. Jen McCabe, the star witness for the prosecution, comes out with Kevin Reddington. No one follows her. It's just
Jen,
me.
why did you Google how long did I in cold at 2:27 in the morning, Jen? Any comment on that? Any comment on that?
Look what Karen Read tries doing there. She started doing the whole, left guard pull there. They're trying to block me. Thank you, sir. Kevin Reddington says.
I see you guys wearing Justice for JJ shirts.
Oh, so there is one camera guy coming over. Who's that guy? See, I see one, but they're not even following her. They're following me. Like, they're turning me into the story. I'm not the story. I'm the guy covering the story. And these cameras were only covering to be like, oh, Turtleboy's going over there. Let's see what he does. Well, why don't you do it too? You can do it too. I'm not the only one that can ask these people questions. Imagine how much better it would be if there was like a team of us, like 10 reporters. Ms. McCabe, like, it would be so much fucking better. But it's just me. It's just me. And then people watching me. Like, it's wild.
Justice for JJ shirts. How can you wear those buttons when you?
I see Ted Daniel coming.
Any comment on that? Why you Googled that at 2:27? Any comment, Mr. McCabe?
Oh, look at that.
Any comment?
Oh, so here's Ted Daniel.
Aren't you embarrassed?
Okay, so see Ted Daniel right there. He stuck his microphone in her face, asked her something. Now watch this. Ted, you gonna follow her, Ted?
Aren't you ashamed?
Ted's like,
what are you hiding? What
nah. We're good.
Why did you delete all those?
And then Kevin Reddington leaves. Like, that's it. That's all. We got one reporter. We got Ted Daniel to come over for 5 seconds, ask her something inaudible that no one can hear. And then she says nothing. So he's like, my work is done here. Good day's work for Ted Daniel. Good job, buddy. You really got to the bottom of that. That's a good question. I don't know who the blonde is. But we'll find out. Look what a cunt she is with her.
Why did you delete your Google search, Mr. McCabe? Mr. McCabe, I believe you said that you saw Karen Read drive south on Fairview Road. Oh, excuse me, sir. Nice to see you guys got dressed up for court, though. Looking sharp. So, I believe you guys both said that you saw Karen Read drive south. Is that correct? South? So then how could she do a 3-point turn then if she was traveling south on that road?
Oh, yeah.
Any comment on that?
Oh, you didn't really think of
No?
that.
Make sense to you? Why were you up at 4:53 in the morning, Miss McCabe? Why didn't you go to sleep? Were you drinking that night? You often drink a lot of alcohol, go to the bar, and then stay up till 4:53.
Let's go, Turtleboy.
Truth and justice. We're looking for it right now. We're looking for it. A Boston police officer was murdered in cold blood.
Hey, Mike, can we just talk about this here for 1 second? The dumpy looking broad in front of them with the fat ass there, that's Carrie Roberts. Carrie Roberts in court, like half an hour before, Adam Lally said that Carrie Roberts and Jen McCabe barely know each other. And then they left court together in the same car. I mean, this is just insane. This is like nobody else is fucking on this. I'm the only one who is like looking into this and be like, I have a couple of questions. You know, can you answer my question? Nope, guess not. And they all just leave together. And I start calling them what they are.
And these people right here, who you're looking at, these people right here, they covered it up. They participated. They're in the murder of a Boston police officer. These are cop killers, ladies and gentlemen. That's a cop killer right there. Cop killer. Cop killer.
You know, I know these people are guilty. Is that they didn't even fucking say anything. Like, they had nothing to say. Like, if and a lot of people are pointing this out, and that's a great point. None of these people stand up for their woman. Like, Matt, I called your wife a cunt, dude. I called her a cop killer in the middle of Dedham. That's your woman, right? You married her and shit. She bore your children. What are you gonna? I disrespected you in the worst possible way a man can be disrespected. I disrespected your wife in public, and boy, am I going to do it again. And it's going to be much worse next time. I'm going to disrespect the fuck out of her over and over and over again. And you, I guess you're just going to stand there and do nothing and say nothing, because that's the kind of pussy you are, dude. That's the kind of man you are. You're the kind of man that stands in the window and watches traffic. At least that's what you say you do at parties. You're the kind of guy that maybe lets a guy like Brian Albert fuck your wife. Maybe. Well, you sit in the corner. Maybe you like that. No judgment. But that seems to be the kind of guy that you are. It seems to be the kind of guy that you are. So anyway, these people had nothing to say, but they're just trashing. And as soon as I saw the brother, and we're gonna call him in a moment, I realized that you know what these people are. So we're gonna call Sean McCabe right now, and then and if he doesn't answer, we're gonna read our entire conversation that I had with him. Let's call him. All right, let's go. Come on. Think he's going to answer? He might answer. Did you hear that? Come on. Why wouldn't he pick up? He's got so much to say. Oh, man. Come on, Sean. I'm going to message him. Pick up. Oh, I also have. Well, I got his number too. So why don't I give him a call? I think I have his number. Where'd it go? Oh, this is from 2007. This is his 2000 because I got a police report on it. We're gonna read. Oh, let's give this number a call. This looks like a landline, but We'll try it anyway. No, yeah, it's a 2005 number. Okay. So anyway, maybe he'll message me back. We'll find out. And if so, we will give him. We'll invite the invite stands, pal. Couldn't hear that ringing. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Didn't know that. So let me change the input here. All right, cool. All right. Let me just message him. I just said pick up. Oh, it says red. So he's got a lot to say, but all of a sudden he got real quiet. Kind of interesting how that works out. Oh, he's writing back. He's writing back. I see the ... Oh, no, he stopped. He stopped. Okay, we'll get to him. In the meantime, let me read some turtle chats out loud to the class, shall we? I think we are up to 485. And again, I'm donating 50% of all donated money tonight to the Karen Read Legal Defense Fund, or whatever we want to call that. All right, so let's read some turtle chats here. He just wrote back. His response is, "Eat a bucket of pickled dicks." Pickled. Okay. I'm not kidding. That's what he just wrote. When you read our whole conversation, it'll make more sense. Eat a bucket of pickled. How do you pickle dicks? I understand pickles are the shape of dicks, but how do you pickle them? They just pickle dicks. Where does he come up with this shit? This guy's wild. All right. Jennifer donates 25 and says, "I back the blue. There is no excuse for corruption. The people involved not only are they covering this up, they are framing an innocent woman. Disgusting. Thank you for covering this, Turtleboy, and doing real independent journalism." Well, thank you, Jennifer. That brings us to 510. Next up, Christine donates 50, bringing us to 560. And she says, "This is Sean McCabe donating to Karen Read and Turtleboy." Well, thank you very much. It's very kind of you. I did not. You were the last person I would expect to donate. Oh, you know who did donate? Check this out. I'm going to share this with you. And I want Carl Dougal to pay close attention to this one. He'll like this one. Look who donated. William Gross. Or Gross. You guys know who he is? Justice will prevail for John O'Keefe. That was the former police commissioner of the Boston Police Department, the one that Joe DePina calls a fucking cowboy. Where's the cowboy hat? The black guy. And he was, very rarely is there a police chief who is well liked by all officers, because usually police chiefs are politicians, basically. But this guy was extremely well liked by the rank and file. He didn't last that long. He just retired, but he was extremely well liked by his officers. And he has donated $50. This is actually him. This appears to actually be him. And more, like, I have seen at least 6 other officers or people who identify as officers in the comments donating as well, including members of the Canton Police Department. So there's that. So I want Carl Dougal to notice that, because he's one of the only idiot members of the Boston Police Department who isn't thoroughly embarrassed to be participating in this. And notice Carl didn't come in his uniform. Why is that? Cops always come to court hearings in their uniforms like that, to let them know that the police are behind one of their own. But Carl doesn't do that, because Carl is ashamed of his position, as he should be, because he is a shameful, shameful person. Okay, so there's that. Next up, we have 40 from Lawrence, says, "Justice for Karen Read, prison for the Alberts and Jen McCabe." Here, here, sir. That brings us to 600. Next up, Hardy sends $50, says, "I can't wait for this poor woman to be found not guilty." I hope she's not even found not guilty. We want to dismiss. We don't want a trial. But and those guilty scumbags to go to jail. Absolutely. 650 we're up to. Thank you, Hardy. We got Spammy sends 50, bringing us to 700, and says, keep up the great work, Turtleboy. I will do that. Thank you, Spammy. Suzanne sends $10 and says, I know horse flesh, and that nag, NAG, is a loser. Okay. Martha sends 100 and says, bringing us to 810, and says, the Alberts and McCabe's are low rent, amoral, white trash psychopaths. Couldn't have said it better myself, Martha. DW sends $50, bringing us to 860, and says, go won't go. Congrats on the increased viewership. Also, for some reason, my comments on the live stream do not come through. Any chance that could be looked into? Oh, yeah. What's your username, DW? Let me know what your username is. Usually that's maybe a mod, hit a button or something like that. I don't know. But we can look into that. I need to know your username, see if you're blocked, and we can fix that if that's the case. A couple of the turtle chats coming through on the Cash App as well. Let me read these. We got $50 here from Alex, and she says $15 for go get him, Aidan. Aidan. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. Then we have Rich sends $25 and says, and that brings us to 900. It says, for Jen McCabe is one ugly pig with those Mr. Ed teeth. And normally I wouldn't make fun of someone's looks unless they're a raging cunt. And then I will absolutely make fun of their looks. Absolutely. Barp sends $50 and says, was Karen worried Jen was interested in John? I don't know what Karen's thinking, but I've not heard that theory. And I think we're all better off if we just stick to what we do know and the facts instead of theorizing. You know what I mean? I think we should stick to what we can prove, and we'll all be better off if we do that. So thank you guys all for the donos there. I really appreciate it. Again, we're up to 950. I'm donating half of tonight's donated money, so that as of right now, that's $475 to the Karen Read Legal Defense Fund. So again, if anyone else, we got another one from Daniel, sends $25 for Jen McCabe as a cunt. Thank you. Appreciate that. I definitely worried about it. And honestly, just to answer that question about the whatever, like, have you seen them? Have you seen what Karen Read looks like? Have you seen what Jen McCabe looks like? I mean, Karen Read sees what she looks like in the mirror. I don't think she's worried about that. I mean, the guy folks out there, I mean, this is not a tough choice there for any heterosexual man to make. I think we would all agree we'd all go with Karen Read in that case over if the choice between her and Jen McCabe. And it's almost like insulting to even say that to Karen Read. Like, I picked you over Jen McCabe. It's like, oh, fucking thanks. real nice compliment you got there. You picked me over Horseface. Yeah, okay. All right. But yeah. Anyway, so there's that. How many likes are we up to, by the way, on this? We are up to 297. So we got 1,300 people in the chat right now. Why don't you guys, it really helps when you guys hit the thumbs up on this. So if you guys are on a phone, X out of the live chat, just hit that thumbs up for me. It takes 2 seconds, doesn't cost you nothing. Just hit the thumbs up. We'd really appreciate that, guys. So, yeah. Okay. All righty. So now we're going to talk about, and again, if anyone would like to donate, the link is at the top, or you can cash at me at $sign Uncle Turtleboy. Half of the donated money is going to the Karen Read Legal Defense Fund tonight. Okay, so let's read here some interesting messages. And Suzanne says $200 if we hit 600 likes. So we're about halfway there. Halfway there, folks. Hook it up. Hook it up. All right. So let's read my, so what's his name and I have been having a conversation via instant messenger here, or whatever you want to call it, Facebook Messenger. And let's read this again. This is the brother, and brother-in-law of somebody who is the key witness for the Commonwealth in a murder trial of a Boston police officer. And this is how he's behaving with an award-winning journalist who has been covering this story relentlessly and is attempting, who is clearly watches the show, obviously, knows who I am, and has been following this. So this is what he writes to me. After I wrote out to him, I messaged him, and then this is what he writes back to me. He says, if you want to talk to me, you're going to need a map face to face, which I'll gladly do. And I have an iPhone, so it's even better than a map. You drew bullseye targets around the faces of my very young teenage nieces. Okay, stop right there. That's an interesting admission, isn't it, folks? Because if you'll recall in court, 88 Adam Lally was insistent that the girls pictured in that image with Michael Proctor were not Jen McCabe's kids. Now their fucking uncle here, their drunken uncle, is telling me that I put a bullseye target on them by putting their faces on the page. So apparently it was them. So thank you. Keep this guy talking. Again, in a normal family, and that's like serious about law and order and doesn't want to go to jail, they tell the idiot drunken brother to shut the fuck up after he appears on Turtleboy. Not the McCabes, though. The McCabes just let him do whatever he wants, and then he starts saying incriminating shit like this. So good job, pal. Good job. So, and posted that horse shit all over your pathetically ridiculous social media accounts. You've been slinging shit out of your cum hole. Oh my God. My cum hole. What is a cum hole? Anyway. My mouth is my cum hole? But cum doesn't come out. Okay, whatever. Too much thought. So if you want to talk to me, you're going to hear what I have to say first. I'm all ears, but I called you and then you got nothing to say to me, pal. So what's up with that? Cut and paste this shit all you want, Sally, but you don't have the stones to look me in the eye. Did you miss when I confronted your brother? Did you miss that? That's kind of my thing. I do definitely have the stones. So let me sweeten the deal for you. Bring 6 friends with you. I'm just bringing my camera guy, Richie. That's the only guy that I need there. And it's not there to kick your ass either. I just want it documented. That's all. That is if you could find any. Maybe those douchebag lawyers will buy you some. Okay. I said, you should come on the live show. You come to me, twat. And again, this is what they do. It's like, it's all so similar. It's just like, this is what Jen and Matt McCabe did. They lured John O'Keefe to the house. They were insistent that John O'Keefe come over. Why did she want him there so bad? She texted him. You hear? Pull up behind me. She wanted him there. I'm telling you, this was an ambush. This is a setup. He was hit within seconds of being in that house. It was all a setup. And this is what these people apparently do, is lure you to their house so they can have their home cooking with the local police department and have it all covered up, whatever they do to you. I go, like how John O'Keefe came to your brother and sister-in-law and got jumped inside? I will, but you should come on the show first. And I said, and he goes, you don't know the parameter. You don't set the parameters, fuckwad. Right here, bring your people, get it on camera, make it a pay-per-view. Hear what I had to say. That's what happens first. Your psycho bitch, fake girlfriend, Karen Read, killed O'Keefe, you moron. Okay. Next. So this, again, and I just want to be clear. So we are going to meet in face-to-face. Like, I know you're drunk and you're a boomer on the internet. You look like a slob, but I'm definitely not the guy who's afraid to meet you face-to-face. So let's dance. Let's do it. You fucked up, and you fucked up bad this time. You targeted innocent children And for what? These people are all hiding me. This is the crusty panties argument. They get backed into a corner for doing something stupid, illegal. And they're like, they're like, oh no, you're attacking kids. This is all they do. You're attacking kids. You know, I'm not attacking kids. Stop it. Clicks for your analytics data. Now you can come talk to me. I don't have any binding legal restraints from talking about this case to you or anyone. You want my thoughts? Come here face to face. Grow yourself half a sack and conversate with me. Let's show your fanatics who Aidan Kearney really is under the shaved scrotum mask that you always wear. I go, why was Jen subpoenaed but by the feds, but Karen wasn't? I mean, don't you think that's odd? He says, who's responsible for raping your children? So this is like the level of degenerate we're dealing with here. Don't exploit kids, but I'm going to talk about raping your children. Okay, let's see how this plays out. And then he goes, do you share your children with other pedophiles? And that's when I got to him. I'm like, oh, he reads something called Masshole Report. He gets his news from Krusty Panties. And this is like, that's how you know these people are really trash. It's like they're going to her for news now, I guess, on me. I don't know. And again, he wants me to take the bait. He wants me to like get into this whole thing because he's like bringing up my kids and the most horrible things about them in the hopes that it's going to rattle me. And it's not, because I know his game and I'm just going to ignore it and focus on my job here and ask the question, why was Jen subpoenaed if she didn't do anything wrong? Your existence is not appropriate, fuck knuckle. I'm sure I'll learn that same time as you when they release the grand jury's findings. Yeah. Until then, answer the questions. Why are people saying that you rape your own children if it's not true? What? How many other? Oh my God. Oh, these people are such lowlifes, huh? Oh, dirty people. They said, do you think the feds subpoena random people who are innocent? What I think has no relevance. I know almost nothing about it. That's the first accurate thing you've said. Did your mother introduce you into your world of pedophilia, or did you require your deviance naturally? Okay. How many cocks were forced into you as a child? And are you training your children to exceed your numbers? And I said, sir, I don't know what you're referring to, but I'd like to stay on topic. Are you at all worried that your brother and sister-in-law were involved in a murder and could be headed to prison? Because I'm not falling for your bullshit. Like I know you're trying to hurt me and really be like sting me by bringing up the most heinous things possible, but I'm not taking the bait, pal. Like it's not going to work with me. I've been down this road before. I'm totally staying on topic, and don't call me sir. I'm probably the first one who's ever called you sir, without following it up with, you're urinating on my lawn. But yes, pretending to show respect is a bitch move and will not be tolerated from you. Now, why are you prohibited from ever teaching children in the state again? And I've decided that my neighbors don't need to be subjected to any of your horse shit. So when you get here, we're going to have our meeting on the ball field at the elementary school. So again, he thinks I'm a pedophile and immediately wants to take me to the elementary school ball field, which is weird. Like, why is that, Sean? Why is that your first place that you want to go? You want to hang out with you think I'm a pedophile and you're like, let's bring me and my pedo friend here. We're going to go down to the ball field at the elementary school. Why not the high school? Why the elementary? Interesting. I am told that your show starts at 9. How long do you need after that to do whatever jerk off shit you usually do before I make my appearance? So it sounded like he was going to come on. And then I saw this. I'll just show you this in the next one. Look at this. He posted this on my page. And I thought this was interesting. I just called in an order asking Judge Bev to institute a trial by combat order against you. They'll be coming to bring you to me any minute, Clarence. TikTok baby fucker. Now, I have no idea if he knows Judge Bev or not, or just blowing smoke, but the guy doesn't even strike me as the kind of guy that follows the case close enough to know the name of the judge. But in this case, he does. And it just seems like there's a lot of home cooking here. Like Kevin Reddington came into that hearing without a briefcase, any documents, nothing. He spoke without any paperwork. And then when given a chance to speak again, he declined. It just seemed like they knew the outcome before the hearing was over. They knew what was going to happen. And now this guy is out here, the brother. And Billy, you don't think the defense has clearly seen this? I know the defense has seen this because, like, you don't think the defense reads Turtleboy? You don't think they follow this? Of course they do. I'm the only one reporting on this and trying to like save their client. Of course they do. And this idiot is out here claiming to have a close personal relationship with the judge who the day before ruled very controversially that the motion to quash his sister-in-law's subpoena would be allowed, and that the evidentiary hearing in which she would be questioned was just canceled outright. Nothing like that's it. And this guy, the brother-in-law of that woman, is out here calling the judge Judge Bev and insinuating that he has a close relationship with her. So I just want Beverly Cannone to know this, because we are going to write about this, because whether or not this is accurate or not, this is worth reporting. And I want Judge Beverly Cannone to know that this is you did this. You did this. This fucking thing right here happened because of your ruling. You have empowered these people. You have made them believe that you are on their side, which you are, and that you will protect them at all costs, and that you are their friend. And instead of shutting the fuck up about it, they're posting about it on Facebook. They are loudly proclaiming to the world that we got you in the bag. That judge, we got her. She works for us. She doesn't work for John O'Keefe. She doesn't work for Karen Read. She doesn't work for the Commonwealth. She works for us. She's our friend. And by the way, she owns property where in the town that he lives in. He lives in Barnstable. And she apparently owns property there too. They might know each other. He calls her Judge Bev. Why the fuck? Like, why is he calling her that? That's interesting. So I decided to ask him about this. I said, I sent it. I go, do you really have a line to Judge Cannone? And then he says, Auntie. Then he calls her Auntie Bev. Whose seaside cottage do you think we're going to bury your corpse under? My corpse. So in order to be a corpse, you have to be dead, kind of like John O'Keefe. And this is what these people do. If you cross this is what this man is writing during the middle of the day. Our conversation has gone on for 3 days now. He continues to talk like this. He can't be drunk the whole time. He can't be a Kevin Reddington the whole time. This is just how he acts. And this is how these people all act. Now imagine them, if you will. Now imagine how they react after a night of drinking and then they invite a man over who has problems with a member of their family. Imagine how they react to him. This is what they do to me, a complete stranger who is simply reporting on all this. He says that we're going to bury my corpse at the home of Judge Beverly Cannone, who he is now calling Auntie. Auntie. Believe me, this is all going to the defense. They're all going to be receiving this. And I will be writing about this tomorrow. And I also got an interesting email here. Again, I don't know what's bullshit and what's not with emails. So let me just read this email out. Hold on. Out loud to the class. Hold on one moment. All right. So again, this is I don't know who this person is, but I'm just going to read the email that I got out loud. Okay. Bear with me for one moment. It says, Hi, I've been really scared to talk to anyone about this. And I know I'm not the only one, but I see you're keeping people anonymous, and I think it's important that people know. The problem that Colin Albert had with John O'Keefe was that Colin Albert sells pills and weed, and John knew about it because he lived across the street from one of Colin's friends who runs with Colin. Colin's dad knows, and sometimes the drugs go through the pizza shop, from what I've heard. The whole Albert family makes money from it. I don't know. That's come on, like that's what makes it a little far fetched. Like you're making the Albert family relies on marijuana sales and what other pill sales. Come on, like that sounds. I'm just reading the email from it, and I don't know if his uncle Brian knows or not, but I think he probably does and explains why they're really covering it up. I have screenshots of Colin selling drugs because sadly, I have bought from him before. Well, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So again, this person asked for anonymity. They will be granted it. Just to be clear, I have not said your name, and I'm not going to say your name. But you are safe with me. You know, you're safe. Like you. That's interesting. Colin talked a lot about getting John because Colin thought John had him under surveillance, but I don't know if he really did. Colin was also a huge part of bullying a girl named Karen Beatty. Pretty bad. Oh, this might be a legit emailer. Karen Beatty is the daughter of Tom. Tom Beatty was the person that Jen McCabe called 3 times that morning. And a lot of people thought, oh, is Tom Beatty in on it? No, Tom Beatty has since been accused of having sex with Karen Read and being in a relationship, as if that's what that woman wants to be doing right now, is having relationships. Well, she's basically a prisoner in her own home, can't go anywhere. And is like, you know, trying to save her life and not go to prison. Tom Beatty's daughter was called by Colin Albert at around 12:33 a.m. the night John O'Keefe was killed. We know he was at the house. That's a fact. Word is that he was asking Karen Beatty for a ride out of there. She didn't answer. She called him the next day. He said, never mind. She called him back because she was sleeping. And so that's interesting. And we know that the Beattys are like the only ones in town that didn't get in line with the McCabes. That didn't push. They're not like Kerry Roberts. Like Kerry Roberts has been a good dog. Good Kerry. Good. The Nagel kids, Julie Nagel, which is Brian Albert Jr.'s girlfriend, and the other Nagel, Ryan Nagel. They've been team whatever. Like Sarah Levinson, shut her fucking mouth. They did their job. Emily Fabiano did her job. Just they shut their mouths. But the Beattys did not. The Beattys did not get in line. And they have been bullying Tom's daughter for quite some time now. People are telling me. A lot of people are telling me this, that this girl has been severely bullied for not getting in line with the Alberts and doing the exact opposite, as a matter of fact. So there's that. So they're saying he was also a huge part of bullying this girl, Karen Beatty, pretty bad. Against this emailer doesn't, the fact that this emailer calls it this girl, Karen Beatty, suggests they don't know that I know who she is. Shows what kind of person he really is. I really think what happened is he followed through with what he was saying about John. That sounds so fucking legit. Again, we will look into that. But that is the first time I've heard this angle that Colin Albert is selling drugs. And I would not be the least bit surprised if Colin Albert is selling drugs and that John might have known about it. Let's just put it that way. Erin, I believe, is 18. She's like a year younger than him, I believe. So why would he call her for a ride? Because he needed a ride. He had to get the fuck out of there. So because he did not, they were trying to get him out of there immediately. Anyway, so let me go on with the conversation with this dude, this Galug. And he goes, shitbag, you're a fucking idiot. Seriously, though. What's your incapacity diagnosis? Asperger's, spasticus, autisticus. Okay. Have you thought about treatment for any possible chemical imbalances for your emotional deficiencies? Have those issues been critical to your defense against criminal charges for your chronic pedophilia? I'm concerned because sometimes speds like you can be prone to random outbursts of physical violence and have been known to possess what is clinically known as retard strength. So I need to prepare myself for when we're standing face to face, so to speak. Okay. And then he goes, you're the one who first accused her, Beverly Cannone, of working directly for me. After your tragic loss in court Wednesday, you're nothing but a sackless load of shit with a soapbox. Your entire family is shit. Why were the Kearneys chased out of South Boston and had to hide in rubbish in Worcester? South Boston, sir? My dad is from Indiana. My dad grew up in a place called Fort Wayne, Indiana. That's the Kearney lore. My mom is from Jersey City, New Jersey. Eventually moved to a town called Mountain Lakes. And they moved here when I was 5 years old because my dad is a scientist and he got a job at some science company that ended up going kaput and has been a professor at Mass College of Pharmacy since then. So I think you're confused about your Kearneys. That's certainly not my family, sir. But anyway, do you even know the story? Your parents were scum? Well, they're alive, so wrong, whatever there. And scum breeds scum. Your father was worse, I think you wrote today. You're a compound of scum, and now you've bred children who are destined to be scum. End the cycle, fucko. Castrate yourself. Make sure you've got your meds sorted before you go on tonight. Wouldn't want you to go into the anaphylactic shock and drop the fuck dead in front of your massive audience of 24. Sad. I feel like we have a little more than 24. How many likes are we up to, by the way? Now we are up to 450 likes. Hit that like, baby. Let's get up to 600 likes. Hook it up. Why haven't you ever taken a journalism course and learned the most basic methods of phrasing your questions in such a manner that you can shut your stupid fucking mouth long enough to both hear and accept the answer? I told you to come see me, kid. I will teach you how to properly behave both as a journalist as a walking, talking pile of human shit. Okay. How will you teach me that, and where do I meet you? Oh, we'll work out an appropriate teaching method to maximize your learning experience. Just tell me when you're coming, and I will go to where you are. I'll come wherever you want. Get in your car and hit 495 south to the end. So I'm just going to jump on the highway and just end up in fucking Bourne. What? Okay, come on, dude. Give me a break. Meet me halfway, at least. Where's halfway? I'll meet you in Lakeville or Taunton, wherever the hell. Where are we meeting? I go, are you coming on? Seriously, dude? Exactly. What about me leads you to believe that I'm almost as stupid as you face to face, or you don't get any contributions to your clickbait from me? So he said enough. Believe me, you said enough, pal. We got enough for it. And we are going to do that visit, but please tell me he doesn't have children. He does not appear to be married or anything like that. So I don't think he has kids, but let me read a couple more turtle chats that we have here. And then we're going to read a funny arrest report from him. Michael sends $25, bringing our total to 1,000. And he says, keep up the great work, Turtleboy. Thank you very much, Michael. I appreciate that. Lindsay donates $20. And she says, fellow mass law enforcement family, we back Karen Read and Turtleboy. Keep going, Turtle. Also, fuck Sean McCabe. That's the thing. It isn't even like a back the blue thing, because the blue is on our side for the most part. They appear to be on our side. Jay sends $10 and says, thank you. Don't stop your reporting. Thank you. I really appreciate that very much, Jay. So we're up to, and one more from Monty. Your father was a hamster and your mother smelled of elderberries. Okay. So that brings us to 1,040. We are donating half of all donated money tonight to the Karen Read Legal Defense Fund, which brings us to 520 smackaroos. And do we have any more turtle chats over here? Oh, we got another one here from Andrea. She sends $30, bringing us to 1,070, and says justice for John and Karen. Thank you, Turtleboy. Okay. All right. So let's see. All right. Let me, is there no, oh, we already got the one from Monty. Okay, cool. Can you cut cash apps? Oh yeah. All right. I'm going to be right back. I'm all out of drinks. I got to get another water. So I'm going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. Hold on one sec. I'll just toss a video on here so you enjoy. Be right back.
People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person who loved me till the end. People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a one-boy, cuddly toy, my up, my down, my pride and joy. People, let me tell you about him. He's so much fun. Whether we're talking man to man or whether we're talking son to son, 'cause he's my best friend. Yeah, he's my best friend. La la, ba la la la, yeah, ba la la la, ba la la la, yeah.
That never gets old, does it? That never gets old. All right. Let's do first where you repping. Let us know in the comments. We're gonna read it as arrest report in a moment, but for now, let us know in the comments where are you watching the Turtleboy live show from tonight. Go ahead. Bedford, New Hampshire's in the house. Ashland, Marshfield, Nashua, Dudley, Massachusetts, West Bridgewater, Hyannis, Douglas, Billerica, Malden, North Carolina, Canton, New York City, Baltimore, Fitchburg, Dudley, Lakeville, Massachusetts, Tennessee, Turners Falls, Glendale, Arizona, Avon, Connecticut, West Quincy, Norwood, Kensington, Louisville, Kentucky, Plymouth, Gloucester, Hawaii, Chicago, Weymouth, on a plane in the air, Gloucester, Mashpee, Encore, New Bedford, Clinton, Springfield, Weymouth, Rome, Georgia, Winchendon is announced, Dennisport, Taunton, Cumberland, Rhode Island, Saugus, Hudson, Massachusetts, Weymouth, North Attleboro, Ulrich, Missouri. That's a new one. Hanson, Unity, Maine, Northbridge, New Bedford, Turners Falls. Let's see. Louisville, Kentucky, Plymouth, Gloucester, Hawaii, Durham, North Carolina, Biden's House, Bethel, Maine, Wareham, Swampscott, Fort Lauderdale, Arnold Mills, Auburn, D&E Pizza, Plimpton, Raynham, Haverhill, Charlestown, Boston, the Federal Grand Jury Room, running out of paper, away from Kate's sexy legs. Yeah, right. Brian Higgins, Canton Police Department office. Abington, Sean McCabe's Keg Belly. Yikes. Beverly, Adams, Massachusetts. That's a new one. Rochester, New York. Brant Rock, the good side of Canton. Hampton Beach. East Bridgewater. Watertown. Weymouth. Methuen. Worcester. Pennsylvania. Melrose. Marlborough. Southern Connecticut. Eastern Connecticut. Dublin, Ireland. Salem, Connecticut. Weston. New Bedford. John Fetterman's hoodie pouch. Nashua, Applebee's. Okay, if I missed you, Sandown, New Hampshire, I love you very much. Before we continue with this guy and read his arrest report, just quick point of interest here. Just want to bring up because I did mention this on the show last night, and this is real. And I'm gonna bring this up. This is not me saying this. Let me pull this up. All right, I gotta download these real quick. This guy keeps talking, man. Like, I've never seen anything like this. So I only bring this up because it's just the so when somebody said Dublin, it made me think about something, and I'm like, because I only know one guy from Dublin. He goes by Irish Demon. He's a YouTuber who was so mad when I went on Timcast and cried about it publicly. And so I met with this guy like 6 months ago. He was really mad at me about something. So he flew across the Atlantic Ocean to come meet with me at a hotel in Newton. And him and I had a conversation, which I thought went well. And we talked about some stuff, but it was all just him, I guess, trolling me or something. I don't know. But he was really there to have sex with a woman by the name of Shannon, who rips cigarettes all day and ignores her 3 kids or whatever. And Shannon was a stalker of mine, obsessed with me. She runs a Facebook and a Twitter account called Turtleboy Secrets that is dedicated to me. And she is also the co-host of the Masshole Troll Mafia Report program that Carl Dugal gets his news from. And she has not been around much, I guess. And there's a reason why. And she's apparently, at least she's telling people that she's pregnant. She's like 6 months pregnant. I shit you not. Check this out. So like she posted that. I mean, that's, I don't know. I guess that's, I don't know. Why would you post that on Facebook? I don't know. By the way, get some sun too. Yikes. Not good. Not good. Anyway, this is somebody asked her underneath who the father was, and this was her comment. That's a bit of an intrusive question, but the father is not from this country and won't be involved. I'm trying to do the math here. So she's 6 months pregnant. When did Irish Demon come here? When did Irish Demon come here? Because he's from another country, right? So he's here 6 months ago. I'm not saying Irish Demon knocked her up. I'm not saying he gave it a shiz jizz. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that she's bearing an Irish Demon inside of her. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is she claims to be 6 months pregnant, and she claims that the father is not from this country and won't be involved, which is fucking wild, by the way, because remember, this woman's biggest criticism of me is extramarital affairs and like anybody gives a shit. And meanwhile, she's married to a gentleman by the name of Arthur, AJ LeBerry, and apparently is getting the Irish Demon semen tossed in there because she's pregnant now, which is great. Might as well add another one to the pile. She doesn't have a job and she's just getting pregnant and shit. And apparently has no interest. The father, she says, is not from this country. I mean, what country is he from? How many foreigners has she had inside of her recently? Because I can think of one. Again, I'm not saying Irish Demon impregnated dump truck. I'm not saying that. Just to be very clear. All I'm saying is she's posting pictures claiming to be 6-7 months pregnant. She claims that the daddy is not going to be around and won't be involved because he's from another country. And there is a gentleman by the name of Irish Demon who flew here from Dublin to bang her 6 months ago. I'm just saying. Just saying. No one cares. Yes, they do. So fuck off. Okay. So that's all. That's all I'm saying. That's all the time I'm giving to that. Just, I was reminded by one of the commenters. Here's some other things he's written. So Mike Conrad is apparently one of his buddies on his Facebook page defending him. I tried to post something. So he's accusing me. I don't know what he's saying. Go to the story. Why make the story go to you? Did you miss the part where I confronted them in person? You must have missed that. Okay. So they're having a lot of fun over it. These are grown adults. How about this? Funny how that works, he says. Turtleboy paints targets on my school-aged nieces, bullies and exhibits hostile and abusive behavior to any number of innocent children and young adults with absolutely nothing to do with anything connected to this case. Yet you think I'm dangerous. I haven't hurt anyone, but you go on wearing Aidan's jizz splashed across your face. Well, her name's not Jen Duso, so give her a break, okay? And she goes, just across your face and dripping out of your ears over there. Hashtag slam pig. So that's nice. So he's the sister, he's the brother of the material witness in a murder trial. Oh, here's a picture of them at a recent kids lacrosse game. That would be Jen McCabe up at the top left. And that would be Matt McCabe. What's with all the space between them? Interesting there. If you guys know the next time that they're at an event like this, let me know. I'd love to go. I'm a big Canton lacrosse fan. I'd love to show up and just sit there and catch a game with them. Maybe talk about who impregnated dump truck. I don't know. We could talk about a number of things or Google searches or anything like that. What else we got here? Yeah, we read that one already. If two parents were attending their child's game away after spending half the day in court surrounded by stalkers taking photos while asking harassing abusive questions. Okay. Yeah, whatever you say, pal. All right. Anything else from this guy? Yeah, because somebody else posted the picture of them, but I guess that was not at court. So that was different. Oh, and look at this picture. I found this picture interesting. This is, dude, let's play. And one day, you know what we're going to do, guys? We're going to play Canton trivia on here because I swear to God, some of you people know this story so fucking well. Like, I'm blown away by the level of, like, people are so into this story. I've written 40 chapters of the story now, and it never loses any interest. Oh, and any word on Coco, they're together. That is 100% confirmed that she is not divorced or separated from Brian Albert. I know their exact address in Norwood. I'm going to be knocking on their door soon. They should be prepared for me being there. But we do need to have like a Canton trivia night. And let's play a game here, shall we? I'm going to circle random people in this picture. And let's see who can get the names right, shall we? Okay, let's do it. Let's play the game. All right. So first up, let's go with this one. Who's that? Let me make that a little less thick. Is that not working? Why are you sending me messages? Hold on. Okay. All right. That would be Bernie Albert. That's correct. Bernie. See what I mean? You guys know this fucking story so well. Next up. How about this one? You guys know that one. You guys know who that face is. Who knows that one? Anyone know? Fat Albert? Nope. Oh, there it is. That would no, not Tim. That's not Tim. This would be Canton police officer Kevin Albert. That would be Kevin Albert. Next up, what do we got here? How about this one? How about these two? They're kind of together. So we'll just do them. Anyone know these two people are? Let's see. Who knows this one? It is a little blurry. Oh, someone did get Kevin Albert? Okay. This is an easier one. Let me zoom in a little. That, no, it's not Brian Coco. That would be Chris. That would be Chicken Parm Charlie and his wife, Julie Albert. That would be Jillian and Chicken Parm Charlie. Next one. Who's this one? Who's this one? Who knows that one? Come on. I know you. There it is. That would be Jill Daniels She's kind of like the town pass around, if you will. Right now, she's been passed around to Nick Morathis, the carpet guy. But, you know, she's the one that Chris Albert jokingly told his D&E employees, I married the wrong sister, because he wanted to bang her. Like, and I think his brother banged her, but who fuck knows with this town. So that would be Jill Daniels. How about the next one? Next one's a little harder because we haven't talked about this one much. And we know who this one is. How about that one? Anyone know what that one is? Too many equines in this family. Now that's a male, so it's not Jen McCabe. It's a male. No, good guess. This is Brendan Albert. Brendan Albert is rumored but unconfirmed to have been at the party that night because he goes to Bridgewater State. He is a well-known piece of shit fighter too. He is the middle child in the Albert family, I believe, and in the Brian Albert family, that clan. And he's in a lot of the images with Colin. They go to Bridgewater State together and play football together. So that's him. Next one. How about this tall fella? Anyone know who he is? I know that one is. BYU. We're not all bad. No, I don't think you're all. This is one we haven't really talked about, but he was in the house that night. He was in 34 Fairview Road that night. But he's not believed to have been part of the attack. Yes, this is the oldest of Brian Albert's kids. That is Brian Albert Jr. That is Brian Albert Jr. Correct. Next up, how about this one? The guy with the backwards hat there. Like, look at this fucking tool. Now, Proctor stayed out of his family photo. This is like the only family photo without Proctor in it. That's Fredo. That's Fredo. That's Tim Albert. Tim Albert. Next up, how about this one? This is an easy one. The ATF guy is not in this one. So Brian Higgins is not in this image. This is an easy one. Come on, guys. I know you know this one. That's Colin Albert. Correct. That's Colin. Bunch of you got that one. Okay, cool. Next up. So this is one of Jen McCabe's kids right there. They graduated together. Here's another easy one. Who's that one? Who's that one? I can't recognize Colin without his middle finger up. So true. Yes, that would be Matt McCabe. That is Matt McCabe right there. Cuck McCabe. All right. What about this one? This woman who doesn't look nearly as good in this picture. I thought this woman was good looking. I was way off. She was in the house that night, but claims to have left at 12:15 minutes before John O'Keefe arrived, coincidentally. That's correct, Deb. There it is. That would be Caitlin Albert, whose name was misspelled by Trooper Proctor in his report, who she works for the Attorney General's office for some reason. Of course she does. All right. How about this one? Here's an easy one. I know we know that one. Yes, that's right. That is Tristan's girl. Not this one that we're on now. Caitlin is. Yeah. That's her. This is Jen McCabe. That is Jen McCabe, isn't it? That's not her, is it? I'm pretty sure that's Jen McCabe. I'm 99% positive. I don't know. They all look alike. What about that? That is the other. There's 4 McCabe girls. That's one of them. Or is this Jen McCabe? And is that Coco? I don't even fucking know. I don't even know. That's the oldest of Jen McCabe's sisters. That is one of Jen McCabe's sisters. And then anyone know, this is a tough one. Anyone know this one? At the end? He's definitely been mentioned in blogs. So that is, okay, so that is Jen below. Okay, so that must be Coco, the other one, I'm guessing. That's Coco and that's Jen. I don't know. So Jen is in front. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. And this would be Tristan, the boyfriend of Colin Albert, who is like, what, fifth in line to be a police officer in the town of Canton, and who coincidentally showed up and got her the fuck out of there moments before John O'Keefe arrived. What a great alibi they had. So they're not listed as material witnesses in any of this. And, you know, you look at this image, and a lot of people have asked me, oh, how can there be a conspiracy? This is crazy talk. It's really not that crazy. It's really fucking simple. This connected family of all these people just agreed to shut their fucking mouths and blame it on Karen Read. It's a really simple story they had to stick to, and it worked. He didn't come in the house. That's our whole story. He didn't come in the house. And lucky for them, the house was never treated as a crime scene. They knew that there would be home cooking. They knew that they would not be investigated for this. Ken Berkowitz even went out of his way to get a media reporter to take down a tweet that mentioned Brian Albert's name, that it happened at Brian Albert's house, which it did. So there's that. 542 likes. We need 58 more likes, people. We got 1,300 people watching. If you have not clicked the thumbs up button, please, if you're on your phone, X out of the chat, hit the thumbs up button. Help us get to 600 likes. That's our goal. All right. We're up to 544 now. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. All right. So anyway, that's that. I think that's all the images I have there. Okay. So let's read a little. We'll end the night with a good laugh here. Reading about the incident report, just to show what a sloppy fool Sean McCabe is. Let's read about him. No, that's not it. Stop screen. There it is. Okay. Holy crap. We're at 600 likes. That was fast. Jeez Louise. Don't read till we get to 600. We're there. We're at 604. Damn, that was fast. God damn. All right. So this is a 2007 arrest report for, what's his name? In Stoughton District Court. For Sean McCabe. For Sean McCabe. So he had a stay away. What was he charged with? He was charged with assault and battery with a deadly weapon. And he ended up with a stay away order from Cumberland Farms. And received a. So, I mean, that's pretty ratchet, dude. Like, you can't go to Cumberland Farms. They let Brett in Cumberland Farms. Like, anyone can get in Cumberland. Like, you got banned from Cumberland Farms, bruh. So what did he do to get banned from Cumberland Farms? Let's find out. Let's read his arrest report. So here we go. He had to pay $50 in costs in order to get this dismissed and take a stay away order, and no contact with Jennifer Gilbert, poor lady. She was minding her own business at Cumberland Farms when this galug comes along. Born in 1966. So how old does that make him? 66? Dude, he's getting close to 60. He's 57 years old. Running his cock kisser to me. He must be the oldest of the McCabe brothers. Let's read the report. Let's get to it. Took a quaff. Okay. And by the way, it says in here that he's like 5'90", 250 pounds. He's a fat fuck. Okay. Oh, Michael Cleary was his attorney again. This is 16 years ago. There it is. Look at that. 5'9", 250. Yikes. He was married at the time. Maybe he still is. I don't know. Oh, we got a social. That's nice. Again, this is public document, so we don't have to black anything out. And here's his mug shot. I gotta zoom in. Dude, look at that mug shot. Oh, well, I wish it was better quality. There's his mug shot. Look at him. Look at him. Yikes. Yikes. I'll read the donor one sec. Let me just read this real quick. So it says here, let's see what he did. Let's read this. Oh, he was married to Marnie Cook. His father is Charles McCabe. His mother is Elizabeth Deaver. What is this? He had $19 on him. He had $19 on him when he was arrested. But what did he do? What did you do at Cumberland Farms? Let's find out. All right. On February 19th, 2007, I was at 12:16, the middle of the afternoon. I was dispatched to 309 Park Street for an assault and battery on a female. He hit a woman. While traveling to the location, I learned that the suspect, later identified as Sean McCabe, was heading on southbound on Park Street towards Brockton. He was driving a gray Ford F-150. As I approached the Brockton line, I noticed the truck and it started to pull to the right as I was behind it with its lights and siren activated. He drove slowly over the Brockton line and pulled into a parking lot so as to get out of the traffic lane. I approached him. He stayed in his vehicle, and I asked him what happened at Cumberland Farms. He informed me that he was filling his truck with gas, and the attendant shut the pump off because he was using his wallet to engage the pump, so he didn't have to use his hands. Oh, this fucking lazy piece of shit. Oh my, he can't even pump his own gas. He wishes he lived in New Jersey where they did it for you. He sticks his wallet in the pump. Oh, we've all tried to do that before, but you can't do it. And if you get called out on it, you just got to pump your own fucking gas. He doesn't like it. He doesn't want to pump his own gas. That's too much work. So the pump was turned back on, and he again used his wallet to engage the pump because it was cold outside. Just wear fucking gloves. The attendant once again shut the pump off. McCabe then stated that he went inside to pay for the gas he used. He told the attendant, later identified as Jennifer Gilbert, that there was no need to shut the pump off. Gilbert responded by saying, "You can leave at any time now." McCabe then told me that he got mad and knocked a bunch of lighters off the counter. He's like, "Oh, you're making me pump my own gas? Fuck your store." He starts throwing lighters all over the place. Goodness gracious. What else? I later received a transmission from Officer Barrett, who was at the Cumberland Farm, speaking with Gilbert, that the items knocked off the counter hit Gilbert. Due to the fact that McCabe pushed the items, lighters and hand sanitizer off the counter, striking Gilbert, he was charged with assault and battery with a deadly weapon and was placed in custody and transported to the police station, where he was booked in the usual manner without incident and informed of his rights. So this is when they arrive at the Cumbies. When I arrived at the Cumberland Farms, I spoke with Jennifer Gilbert. She was crying, shaking, and extremely upset. She explained to me that a male party outside was pumping gas when he wedged an object in the handle to avoid from holding it. Mr. Gilbert stopped the pump. Miss Gilbert stopped the pump from inside and told him he had to hold the handle. The suspect then entered the store. Miss Gilbert explained to me that he started swearing at her, saying, "What the fuck is the problem?" Which I could totally picture him doing. Her and another employee tried to explain to him that he had to hold the handle. He then became even more agitated, told her to turn it on, and he paid for the gas already. She refused. He then pushed several items at the counter at her, striking her. One of the items was a display rack, a whole display rack filled with lighters, and the other item was a container of hand sanitizer. They were all over the floor in the clerk's area. I was able to take videotape and return to the station. Yikes. Yikes. Is that not so? Like, that was 16 years ago. He hasn't changed at all. That was back when he was a young, spry 41-year-old. As opposed to now, he's like an old, grizzled 57-year-old. But not much has changed. He still goes around looking for fights with random people, but you got to come to him. You got to come to him. So, and again, this is the kind of thing you do when you feel entitled and empowered and you know that the justice system works for you and not for other people. All right, let me read Dono here. Suzanne sent one. We got a bunch. Holy cow, we got a bunch of turtle chats here. Let me go down the line. Start with Suzanne. Sends $250. Thank you very much, Suzanne. Says, thank you for all the support for Karen Read. Turtleboy made this happen. Well, I appreciate that very much. Very kind to you, Suzanne. Very much. 1,320 we're up to. Next up, Anonymous sends 100 and says, justice for Karen and John. Thank you, Turtleboy, for bringing this to the forefront. You're very, very welcome. Brings us to 1,420. Next up, Jay sends $100. Says, great work, Turtleboy. Thank you very much, Jay. Appreciate that. Brings us to 1,520. Next up, Steve sends 10 and says, I lost my leg, but I live to tell about it. Oh, God bless you, Steve. Turtleboy got me through the hardest part of my life. Forever grateful, Aidan. Keep dominating Canton, and thank you for giving me a second chance. I didn't give you a second chance, man. God did, so I appreciate that. Wow. Very touching. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. So that's 1,530 we're up to now. Appreciate that. Next up, Turtle Cadet, matching Suzanne's number here, donates $250. And he says, I pray each day that chuds like McCabe continue to poke the turtle. Strong work, Dr. Turtleboy. Thank you for calling me my preferred pronoun of doctor. So that's 1,780. Do we have any cash apps? Okay, we're good. And that, I don't want to miss any. Okay, so we are up to $1,780 raised tonight. And again, we're donating half to the Karen Read Legal Defense Fund. So that is 800. I believe that's 890 would be half of 1,780. Yeah, 890 donated directly to the Karen Read Legal Defense Fund tonight. So thank you guys very much. It's very generous of everyone involved here. If anyone else wants to donate, we're pretty close to 2,000. That'd be 1,000 each. That'd be really cool. You can again click on the link at the top. That brings you something called Turtle Chat. You can donate whatever amount of money you want there, and I will read it out loud to the class. So, man, and this matters a lot, man. Like, I think she's raised on her fundraiser itself. She's raised, let me see here. I'm going to post the link if you guys want to donate to that directly. $15,360 she has raised. So that matters a lot. But like, think about it. Like, when they donated to like the Kyle Rittenhouse one got shut down by GoFundMe right away. And so they have to use a different platform, which is fine. My GoFundMe got shut down too, because they don't let you raise money for legal costs unless you have the right political opinions on things. But like, this is great. Like, you've seen like that guy, Daniel Penny, the guy who choked out the homeless vagrant who goes around threatening and assaulting old ladies on the subway. He finally stood up for law and order and restrained him and inadvertently killed him in the process. And for that, he has been charged with murder by a Soros-funded corrupt DA who likes to make a name for himself doing stuff like this. And, the guy Jordan Neely got the George Floyd treatment, and Al Sharpton came to his funeral, and AOC did. It's such a fucking disgrace. Anyway, that guy's raised $2.5 million. And the big difference between obviously Daniel Penny and Karen Read is more people don't know who Daniel Penny is. Like, and that's the media's fault. Because like the media is more interested, like, what does that story have that Karen Read's story doesn't have? Simple. An element of race. That is, and I said this before, and I really believe this. If Karen Read and John O'Keefe, just imagine how different this story would be. If Karen Read and John O'Keefe were black and everyone else was the same color, the same race, Imagine a black man goes into a house filled with white people, many of whom are officers and agents of the state, and he dies that night. He's killed. And his black girlfriend gets blamed for it wrongly. Do you understand the outrage that would happen? Do you understand? Like, think about that. Think about that. Karen Read would be a household name across the country instead of just in Massachusetts. This would be the biggest case in the country. Race matters, guys. I mean, it shouldn't matter, but race does matter. And and race is involved in the Daniel Penny thing because Daniel Penny's white and Jordan Neely is black. And I'm sure a lot of people donated to Daniel Penny, probably white. And in this case, if Karen Read were black, she would be a cause celebre of the NAACP and you name it. And she would be able to raise a lot more money than she currently has. 15 grand is great, though. It's good. It's a good start. Great, very good start. I'm sure she can use this to, fly Alan Jackson out here and them a couple more times. So I'm sure this is going to be very helpful to her. And the money goes to, and a lot of people worried about where the money goes. It goes directly to the attorneys, directly to them. It's all, I would not share something like this if it did not check out. And we just got a Cash App here from Mega Mortis. Jesus Christ, pal. Thank you, Mega Mortis. He sends $220, bringing us to an even $2,000. And he says, for justice for John and Karen. Thank you, Mega Mortis. It's very kind of you, sir. Really appreciate that. I don't even know Mega Mortis's real name, but that doesn't matter. So thank you very much, sir. And he's a mod for me too. So that's cool. But he's loyal as fuck, so I like him. Okay. Getting a couple DMs here. Do I need to read these? Okay, gotcha. Okay. Oh, Krusty Panties is apparently watching because Deb sent me a screenshot that says Shiz fed Turtleboy a fake story that she is 6 months pregnant, and he fell for yet another fake story and ran with it. I mean, good job, guys. Sounds like you accomplished a lot tonight. First of all, thanks for admitting that you watched it, Kate. I appreciate that. And I mean, I'm glad that this is what you do with your free time. If it's true, I don't fucking know. I just think it's funny either way. It's fucking funny either way. Because that what's not made up is that Irish demon threw a couple loads in there. Obviously, that's not made up. That actually happened in real life. But you got me. You trolled me. Oh, I feel so stupid. Oh no. But either way, anyway, the person that sent me that was actually her Shannon's neighbor, who has also sent me other stuff about Shannon, but we'll see. Okay. That's a good point. Mega Morris, they act like any actual time and money was lost. Yeah, like I wasn't even planning on bringing it up. It just came up because somebody said they were from Dublin in the comments. I'm like, oh yeah, check this out. It's like I spent the whole show is about the Alberts. I mean, the McCabe family and this fucking murder case. And they're like, oh, I did a whole show about it. I mentioned we laughed about it for 5 minutes and then we moved on. That's it. Oh, God. All right. Anyone else have any questions that they want to ask me? Fire away if you do. Thank you guys very much for the donations tonight. Doing God's work here, people. I am getting some messages. I just don't want to make sure I missed anything. When you message during the show, guys, it's hard to keep up. So got a couple more donos here. Wow. Suzanne sends 10 to all the families of those who gave all. We honor and respect all who lost those we love. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Suzanne. Appreciate it. Memorial Day tomorrow. Courtney sends 25 and says support for Karen from Coyle Cassidy, class of 1998. You got this. Wait a minute. Oh, that's where she went. Okay. So that would be 2035. Okay. Cool. Hopefully, your best looking was better than the best looking of Canton High School in 1994. So there's that. Who was the guy at the end of the family picture? That was Tristan, the boyfriend of Colin Albert, who wants to be a Canton cop. All right, I'll take any questions you guys have in here. You know, Alex says, you are the most important piece of this puzzle. Don't ever forget that. Well, thank you. I don't think I'm the most important, but I definitely think as far as bringing this to light, I think I've done a pretty good job of that. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. So thank you. Are you worried these people actually get away with this? I mean, a little bit. I don't think federal grand juries convene for nothing. So, but you know, you always worry about like, you never know, like how the criminal justice system will play out. I'm more worried that that people who should go to jail won't go to jail than I am about Karen Read going to jail. I'm not at all worried about that, and neither should anyone else, including her. Yeah, history, man. Nervous. I'm nervous as fuck. Nervous as fuck for this game tomorrow night. God, I'm nervous. I mean, if they win, obviously it's amazing, but then we got Denver, man. Denver is unstoppable in these playoffs. They put together one of the most impressive runs I've ever seen in the playoffs. Coyle Cassidy was in Taunton, I believe. I don't think it's a school anymore. Yeah, no longer there. Okay. Another Cash App. Holy shit. Alex sends 25 for without you. This would have never gone this far. Well, thank you very much, Alex. Appreciate that. Up to 2,060, folks. There we go. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Any update on the animal control records? Yes. So they won the motion, and get this. Now the records have been impounded. So if the defense wants them, they have to file another motion to get them unimpounded, which means another hearing date. Which means, like, see what I'm talking about here? How they are bleeding her out on purpose. They're just like, oh, you want this? Oh, just file another motion. Pay your attorneys to do this and file another motion. It's like, dude, they're just stealing money from her. That email from Adam Lally, I'll show you this one. It was in part 38. Like, let me bring this up over here. Adam Lally specifically said on April 14th, told the defense that they can do whatever they like as far as witnesses are concerned. So bring any witness you want. So they subpoenaed them. And then they're like, whoa. You can't subpoena these people. We're canceling the freaking evidentiary hearing as a result of that. He waited 3 days before the hearing to do this. And then look at this. This is a April 27th email from Adam Lally. He says, I hope to have those. Blah, 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 blah. As far as your witness is concerned for the upcoming date of 5/3, obviously that's entirely up to you. The only caution I would provide in reference is that the case is not scheduled for an evidentiary hearing. This court typically conducts evidentiary hearings at 9 a.m. Okay. As I said, you can do whatever you choose to do. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that, given whatever time and expense to your witness and your client is concomitant with his appearance. Your client's vehicle is evidence, and we would not be consenting to its release, nor is my office going to be assuming your client's car payments. So basically, that's what I knew. They're just bleeding this woman out when they're just like, yeah, we're going to keep your client's car and she's going to still pay. So fuck you. I mean, what pieces? I mean, what do you need her car for? Rumor is that Jen McCabe is talking. I wouldn't know. Seems doubtful. What do you know that you're not sharing? Well, I wouldn't tell you if I knew, would I? I know some stuff. Is Canine Katie Thompson going to be in court this week? Dude, she's back on the air. They put her back on the air. Unbelievable, huh? Kathleen says she's very worried nobody will be held accountable. Monica Cannon Grant's being held accountable, so I trust the feds. I do. Denver's like the Panthers in hockey, except a little bit different because, the Panthers slayed the team that set the NHL record for points in 7 games. They were down 3-1. They came back. Denver was, and Florida was the 8th seed. Denver's the 1 seed. They've had home court advantage and they've had no series go to 7 games. They've been down never. They were up 3-0 on the Lakers. Well, they swept the Lakers, didn't they? They swept them, I believe. And then they beat the They were up 3-0 on the Timberwolves. They let them have game 4. And then didn't they go to 6 with the Suns? Did they go to 6 with the Suns? I forgot. Or 5. I think it was just 5. But yeah, they won the first 2 and then they let them have 1. And then that was the end of it. Let Jokic score and shut down everyone else. They'll be finding it. Dude, Jamal Murray is a fucking star. Like one of the most criminally underrated players in the NBA. I'm going to say right now in the playoffs, he's better than Jaylen Brown. They're in the same draft. I am half empty because, when I get all cocky about these teams, which I do frequently, I curse them. So I have to be the negative guy. I have no choice. Like people don't understand that. It's a public service. Like I'm taking one for the team. I'm going to all you people shitting on me, and that's fine because it's for the greater good. When the time comes, they're going to act like Karen Read being exonerated should be enough. Exactly. There's a dead cop on hands, man. Like the O'Keefe family, then maybe they'll fucking wake up then. What the fuck justifies upon him? I don't know. What the fuck justifies any of this? Like, it's crazy. What the fuck justifies just deleting 2 minutes of footage from the Canton library right when she went by? Like, that's crazy, man. I don't know when the federal grand jury began convening, but I know as a matter of fact that McCabe, Albert, Colin Albert, all these people lawyered up after I started writing about this. None of them had lawyers before this. Now they all do. Any witnesses for people who were actually there? I don't know the question. Are you concerned she'll be found guilty and your reputation as a journalist would be tarnished? No. I.e. the state of smoking? No. I am not the least bit concerned about that at all. Like, not even remotely concerned. Dude, there's too much evidence. Look at the body. All you gotta do is look at the body. And you're like, well, she didn't do that. So somebody did. And that, like, I would bet everything I fucking own. You can have my kids. I would literally bet everything I've ever worked for my entire life on this, that Karen Read did not do this. I am so fucking confident. And so is everyone with the brain. Literally the only person out there who legitimately believes that Karen Read did this is Carl Dougal. That's it. There's no one else. You saw Paul O'Keefe's messages to me. That man does not believe this. He does not believe Karen Read. He doesn't believe it. Carl Dougal does. That's the difference. Like, Paul O'Keefe is just a statist. He will believe whatever the state tells him or go along with it. Carl Dougal believes it. He's a cop. He's a detective. He knows better. Like, you guys got to stop with they're not going to get away with it. Like, I'm 100% certain Karen Read's not going to jail. I'm 99% certain there will be a couple indictments, a couple, if not more. Shannon had a huge fupa to look pregnant. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Murray's been great in the playoffs. They hope the jury finds her not guilty, then they can drop it and blame the jury. I mean, that's what I've worried about. But again, I think the feds will intervene before that. Dude, I mean, the grand jury is real. Like, that is one. They don't convene a grand jury like this if they're not going somewhere with it. They've subpoenaed all these people, the major players in this. Why is that happening? Okay. Who is representing Colin? I forget the name of his attorney, but he has an attorney. The mere fact that he has an attorney really says it all. Yeah, hopefully public opinion sways this pressure the same way I mean, there's way more people behind Karen Read than there are. Like, a higher percentage of the people are behind Karen Read than are behind Kyle Rittenhouse. Like, Kyle Rittenhouse had everyone on the left wanted him to fry. Everyone. Like, those people were sick what they wanted to do to that kid. Sick. For what? Defending himself from a pedophile who was trying to kill him? Okay. Just because she didn't do it means she won't get convicted. You know why I know she's not going to get convicted, Adam? Have you seen the public reaction to this? Who do you think is going to be in the jury? How do you think 12 members of the community are going to react when they hear all of this? Because none of this shit, like, this all gets presented in court and more. Michael Proctor has to testify in court. She can cancel the evidentiary hearing, but she can't cancel Michael Proctor testifying in court, which means Michael Proctor gets cross-examined by David Yannetti and Alan Jackson. Like, that happens. And Nicholas Guarino, whoever their expert is with the cell phone, they also get cross-examined by attorney Jackson. And that didn't go very well for Heather Unruh, did it? You want to, like, let's watch that tape. Let's see how that went. Let's bring this up. And by the way, this was an evidentiary hearing. This is the kid that the 19-year-old who allegedly got a hand job from Kevin Spacey and then cried about it. And it was like a joke. He was setting Spacey up. And then his parents claimed, "Oh, my son got a handy. He was fucking such a victim." And they erased a bunch of his text messages that made it seem like he was just kind of in on it. And this is what happened to them when Alan Jackson cross-examined them about deleting messages.
Are you comfortable taking the stand now and waiving the fifth, or do you have a different thought about what you need in terms of time with your attorney?
I have nothing but the truth
I understand.
to tell. So while I know it may be very unpleasant going forward,
right,
I believe I was raised to tell the truth and not be afraid to.
Before you turned the phone over to Trooper Donovan,
Yes,
you accessed that phone, did you not?
I did.
You opened it up. Is that yes?
Yes.
You started reviewing text messages, photographs, Snapchats, things of that nature.
I started looking for video. I was looking for video that I had no idea existed before that time, where told me, confided in me, that he had shot a video of Kevin Spacey sticking his hand inside his pants. And I went looking for that video because I thought it was very important.
Mommy, take my phone.
If you knew that if in fact such a video existed, it was on the phone and it'd just be there. Turn it over to Donovan without you impacting the data on the phone, right?
I see what you're saying.
Is that right or not?
I was looking for video. I was looking for the video.
At any point, did you
Here's
ask
the dad.
your
Watch
son
the dad.
to look at his phone, that phone?
He looks at his phone every day. What kind of question is that? What do you mean?
Sir, hang on a second. Now back to the point that Mr. Jackson made. Listen to the question and answer. Just stop. Listen to the question and answer just the question that's asked. You don't need to go beyond that. If there's a further question, Mr. Jackson will ask it.
This guy's such
or
an
Mr.
asshole.
Glenny will ask it.
We need a judge like this.
Focus on the question, sir. And
Not
move through this
McCabe. I mean, not what's his name.
Did you ever see his phone or the contents of his phone?
I did see his phone, yes.
Did you ever look into the contents of the phone?
I did not look into the contents of the phone.
You never looked at any text messages or group chats?
I looked at the message that said, help me.
Okay, so you did look at his phone.
He showed me the text that said, help me.
Okay,
Does that help you? Because I think there's a clear text there that.
Sure. I appreciate that.
I think this is going way too far.
I think this gets not.
You answer the question.
Imagine that. I think this has gone way too far. Yeah, you're trying to fucking get a guy charged with sexual assault. I don't like these. I'll decide when it goes too far. I think this has gone way too far. Bitch, what'd you think was going to happen? You accused a millionaire of sexual assault. And it's like you're doing it, not even like your son. You're doing it on behalf of your shitbag son.
Go ahead.
Thank you. If you don't understand my question, just ask me and I'll repeat it. Okay.
I think you've had way too many questions that have gone way
Sir,
too
listen
far.
to me. You keep this up, I'm going to hold you in contempt. This is a criminal proceeding, and you will cooperate, or as I say, you'll be held in contempt.
I understand.
I appreciate that. Go ahead.
Thank you.
He was almost held in contempt.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking.
Again, that was the criminal case of Kevin Spacey sexually assaulting some kid in Nantucket, some 19-year-old, who given him a hand job, and then the woman, the mother, Heather Unruh, former WCVB reporter, she deleted a bunch of text messages, and Alan Jackson's cell phone forensic guy found it out. Just like with the Jen McCabe situation. Went through her phone, found out there were a bunch of messages that were deleted. And look what Alan Jackson did to the father and to the mother. And think of what he's going to do to Michael Proctor and Nicholas Guarino. He's going to destroy them. That's why I'm not even remotely worried about a trial. It'll be amazing entertainment for all of us, but it will be hell for Karen Read and the anxiety it would take to go through that. And that's why I don't want that to happen to her. She doesn't deserve that. Again, and that's how a judge is supposed to react, right? Is like, no. We're going to get to the bottom of this. And that was an evidentiary hearing, which never happened in the Karen Read case because she canceled it. She just canceled the evidentiary hearing because she knows that it's going to play out like that. But that's a real judge you saw there, not a fake judge like Beverly Cannone, who apparently is buddies with Sean McCabe. Auntie Bev. I can't wait to write that blog because I know she'll see it. And I just want her to know that, like, your name is, you're so transparently corrupt that these people are who you're protecting are out here throwing your name around because they don't give a fuck. And she's going to be pissed at them, I'm sure. As she should. Yeah, I mean, he might have been rapey in other situations. I don't know. I think he gave some guy in England a hand job or something. I don't know the whole story. But the Nantucket one was bullshit. No, they're not going to move the case to a different court. I don't think they have that option. Who was the judge that told them to preserve their phones? That would be Judge Krupp. So they rotate the judges in and out. I'm surprised she hasn't been replaced yet. And I doubt she would be the person. I doubt she would be the person that presides over this case, luckily. Imagine Jackson questioning McCabe. Exactly, dude. Imagine me questioning McCabe. Like, if you can't stand me, good luck with Alan Jackson. Exactly. If I was a judge, I'd be pretty ticked off. They're comfortable even throwing my name around in trash talk. Exactly. Like, I can't wait to write that. Just, I want you to read this. Like, you've encouraged this sort of behavior, Judge. All right, guys. So we're going to call it a night then. Thank you guys all. Really appreciate it. All the donos, all the support, all the love. We raised again $2,060 tonight. So that's $1,030 for the Karen Read Defense Fund. Thank you guys all for everything. And we're going to keep on this story, the story that never dies. And we will see you guys all for the next episode of Turtleboy Live on Tuesday night. Go Celtics, baby. Tune in tomorrow. Peace, Turtle Riders.